I mean, like,
oh, right.
The slight scene in one corner of one of 5 videos that would be an impressive use of their algorithm.
The problem yeah, so over here in the Alchemy veteran directors here, sometimes you get very tired as always. John the asshole as being a cat, and like
the music's off now. You can talk.
Yes.
So you're saying you're low-key exhausted?
Yes, I am low-key exhausted. Hello, Metro. Metro is a Patreon show. If you need me to provide you the link in like email or like a Discord DMs, let me know. So
Get on your dang Patreon page.
So that shows how tired I am. I just started talking, assuming that like I could be heard when like people couldn't hear me. So email, please. Okay, let me get to that. I have shared the link to all of my social medias, but now I need to like share them to the Discord. So I'll be in the process of doing that. So, how's everyone doing?
7.
Pretty good, actually.
Once again, I woke up and I didn't regret it.
I'm surviving.
Yeah, just like always tired. Then again, like Joanna Roberts like messaged me right as I was about to fall asleep. So at 2 a.m. though, but like that like she like doesn't have any money because another like thing just like hit her account, and so I sent her my last $40 so I could charge to my credit card, and then like shared around to like all the places that like if you have extra money, give to Joanna Roberts because like yeah, she doesn't have like money for food or pills, and so yeah, there's always that. And Metro, I'll just email you the link. So now I'm just going to the Discord to like share the like link to like all the places. Yeah, so what has been happening, and so also let me like quickly thank the patrons that are at least scrolling down at the bottom, and like John Brockman, you can correct me if like there's any that we haven't missed, because so
yes, because we have a very volatile and active community in that respect.
We got
actually.
Thank you to Mithral, the Fuckboys, Joe, Ely, Marty, Von Rack, and Tim. I believe that's all of them. Tim's not like a patron anymore, it seems like. That's unfortunate. Oh well.
What happened to my what happened to my girl Leto? Leto?
That's how
Julie?
Julie?
She's still alive.
Yeah,
She's still married.
Wait.
She is still is around, but like hasn't I don't know
Active.
what she's
There we
been up
go.
to.
Okay.
Yes.
Mithral, Mehmet, Joe, Marty, Von Rek, Ili, and you.
Yes, the one of the fuck boys. So what's everyone been up to?
Working, earning.
Yeah. Working, you know. I did say that I went through a meltdown at work yesterday.
You wanted to talk about that last week briefly.
Well, it actually happened yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. Okay. My timeline got confused because I had trouble reading the whatcha thing on Facebook.
And sorry about eating lunch too, so I'm trying not to be rude.
Just try out to eat directly into the microphone.
Like John Brockman demonstrated to do too. So do as he said, not as he do. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I was helping yesterday to move a sign for my boss, like some kind of like display sign. And and she told me to move it, but she had already like found it because she was looking herself.
Mhm.
And then it was like, well, then why did you send me to go try to look for it if you already found it? Like, okay, that didn't make any sense. Like, basically, just be like two like conflicting orders. Just you do this and then do that, and then I threw my hands up and then she told me to clock out and go home. So
Mm. Yeah.
yeah, so
Why is that always the response to autistic people having a meltdown and not an apology for giving conflicting information? Because that is
Because we're spicy, they're mayonnaise, and mayonnaise rules the world.
yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Apropos of mayonnaise, did you hear about the spice ban in Denmark?
No.
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 Just incredibly silly. So the spicy chicken noodles, samyang noodles.
Yes.
They banned them in Denmark for being too spicy.
That is the whitest thing I've ever heard.
Oh.
Okay, so Denmark beats
shout out-
America on something, banning
John calling
something's too spicy.
autistic people spicy. I like that. I like that compliment, John.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't come up with it myself. No. There's neurotypical, there's neuroatypical, and some people instead of neuroatypical say neurospicy.
But
Well,
it's just like it seems like such a small thing you could do for someone who's autistic is to not give them conflicting information. It's like
Yeah.
it's the smallest thing. It's not a big ask. It's like
Mhm.
And that's one of those things where it's like, hey, this is just a behavior we should just, do. Like, it's
Well,
still
I mean,
bad
in
to give
fairness to
somebody
his
who is
boss, she's
neurotypical
probably busy
conflicting
and
information.
doesn't know what the hell's going on half the time. But in response to him saying, "Wait, why were you telling me to do this if you were doing this?" and she should have said, "Okay, no, take a breath, go take 5, right?" Instead of
Yeah.
sending him home.
yeah.
So I mean, the conflicting orders thing was probably just left hand, right hand. She didn't have all the information herself.
possibly.
It's just that
We
her
weren't
response
there.
was not great when his response
Yes.
was perfectly
Yeah.
predictable.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
it's just it's I just think it's such a small thing. It's an incredibly small thing, and you can help people by not sort of doing this.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was terrible. So she sent me home, and then I sat home and I watched Unsolved Mysteries pretty much the whole night. I mean the whole
Is
day
that the
after.
one with Riker?
No, this is Robert Stack. Yeah. Robert
Shoot.
Stack.
I don't know who that is.
What
That's
was the?
Unsolved.
It's the Unsolved Mysteries guy. That's what he's known for. He like started it after his daughter or niece, something like that, had gone missing.
Oh, True Crimes. Cold cases and paranormal
it's
phenomena.
A true
Okay.
crime. It's a true crime show with a call in if you have leads.
Yeah, it's
thing.
like
Gotcha.
it was like America's Most Wanted before that.
Yeah.
But it also does include the paranormal phenomena, hence why I confused
Mhm.
it with Riker doing bullshit.
Oh, I know what
He
you
did
mean.
Rikers, Believe It or Not, I think.
the
Actually,
late
Yes,
90s.
that's
Yeah.
the one.
In the
or
late 90s.
Rikers.
Jonathan
Ripley's
Frakes, he
Believe It or
has a
Not.
name.
No, he's Riker.
Beyond Belief or something like that, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I watched that, then I watched Titanic Stone.
Riker and his catalog of dad jokes. Yes, Phoenix. And well, hello, Phoenix, Lucidia. Lucidia, it's nice to see you. It's been so time as well doing Ozma.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Yes. I hope you're doing okay this week. Hope everyone's doing okay this week.
Yeah. Just working. Nothing unusual other than like working. But however, it wasn't like last week, but it's a week before last that like first time ever that like well, I've done jury duty before, but this is the first time that I got to like in-person jury selection this time.
Mm. And they
so,
take one look at your Loki hat and trans skirt and hear that you're a communist, and they dismiss you so hard that you fall into a doorknob.
No, in the courtroom, you're not allowed to wear hats, and I took mine off. I wasn't wearing my skirt. I mentioned that I have radical left-wing politics. Didn't say I was a communist. I did say I was a police impersonation abolitionist, though. And to which it was just a prosecuting attorney that just like asked follow-up questions of like, well, you know, some people with those radical left-wing beliefs or something like that will be like a rebellious character. It would just like go against the man, as it were too. That's not the word he used. It was, but like, so it would not follow orders or something like that, or just be revolting, as it were too. Would you be that kind of person? And I said, no. I'll follow the instructions that I have. I can be impartial.
The point of I agree with the purpose of the court. I don't think the purpose of the court is what the purpose of the court says it is.
I just mentioned I had criticism of the system as it is too, but like he did say, would you be able to participate in the system while being critical of it? That was a perfect opportunity for me to say every single anti-capitalist person does that because they have to participate as a capitalist.
That's what I do every day, bitch.
I also should have mentioned that, like, I took off my hat. It was the R2D2 bowler, which a couple of jurors did say, nice hat. But I took it off for the courtroom because, like, I can pick my battles. Me fighting for my right to wear my hat in the courtroom is not the place to just, like, be rebellious and rebel against the system. That's work.
You should have gone in wearing, like judge's robes, but in trans colors. Or NB colors. Hey, he's wearing robes!
Does everyone have to do jury duty in the US?
It varies between has to or gets to, but yeah, it is considered your civic responsibility.
Yeah.
It's based on the English tradition of a jury of your peers, and so everyone is liable to be called up for jury duty. But the lawyers on both sides do their best to make sure that the jury will be as favorable as possible for their client, whether that's the person being tried or the state. So the state wants nothing but white men who are going to punish everyone for every crime except white men. And the defense usually wants black women, basically.
Now, you can be excused for hardship, and actually, a couple of jurors before the further questioning happened is like one works on commission, and if he missed a couple of days of like work, he would have struggled to pay his like mortgage. He was excused for hardship. Yeah. Another one was adult entertainer, and like well, same thing with any like self-employed person. If you don't work, you don't get paid, and so if you could, it's like with like everyone, it's like
so basically, there's a. You can get excused if missing a few days of work would be unacceptable. Like if you're a middle-class person working on salary, missing like a few days or even a week of work, your boss can put up without you for a little while and it won't actually hit your paycheck. But if you live paycheck to paycheck, if you depend on tips, things like that, then they might let you go. They're also going to let you go if you have extreme politics or if you are openly bigoted.
There was one. So basically, there was another juror that was like excused for cause because like he could not bring himself to like make a decision or be part of the decision that could affect someone's like life for the rest of their lives, something like that. And so he was.
That's the question that got me kicked out twice. Like if you was no, actually, it was two separate questions that are very similar. The one is like, can you, if you are sure within reasonable doubt could you make a decision that could affect somebody's life even if you weren't completely sure? And I said, I don't believe that I'd feel comfortable with that. Like, I don't think I could put somebody in prison for the rest of their life, even if I had the slightest inclinations. And the other question that got me, or that I got dismissed after, was would you be able to fulfill your duties for a uh if a law if the court or if the prosecution proved that the law that was broken was a law that you do not believe should exist? And I said,
Oh.
no, I don't think I could.
Yeah,
I'm in
I
favor of
wouldn't-
jury nullification. My autistic ass would
I
be able
did
to go
say
all the way
that.
extreme on both of those. Because yes, I can make a decision that would affect someone's life.
I've actually never.
Yeah. So, and this thing is
but
like,
you don't get compensated for.
It's like $50 a day.
It's
No, $10 a
not
day.
a lot.
Actually,
It
I have that check right
it
here.
varies from municipality to municipality, and
It's not even
long
minimum
they keep
wage. It's basically they
Yeah.
only want middle class white people to be able to afford to be able to be jurors.
And honestly, I wanted to make sure with my work, and like it did turn out that like yes, I can like request like time off, and it'll be have to mark it as jury duty. so it doesn't
Your
take away
boss is
from
not
everybody.
allowed to fire you if you get someone for jury duty.
Right, and the company was going to pay me for my missed days, 8 hours for each of the missed days as well too. So it won't be my overtime pay that I usually get. So that would kind of like hurt me a little, but it'll be like me on vacation, so I will still get like money, so I won't be able to miss payments, miss rent, or anything like that. So that's where it's like it won't be fun and undue financial hardships for me personally, but it would be for like Phoenix or Joanna. But it turned out to be like
And your bank.
and yeah, well, that too. It's like screw the bank, I don't care. They're just like they're processing money. But I did actually get my check for my 1 day appearance at court for jury selection, and it's $10 plus like $6.57 for transportation. So I only get paid $16 for 1 day at court.
Okay. Oh, okay. In my country, it's only people who are a member of a political party, but that is to ensure that they can mix a lot of people from different viewpoints together.
Okay. So it guarantees that the jury are already public participants, and they're not
Yeah.
lazy, and they know their viewpoints, and they can have a. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Is
my
yours the
mother-
country with the king with the frog hat, or is that Norway?
I don't know. Is he wrong? I don't know. Ours is. He likes to go on runs in tiny shorts.
Oh, that's Sweden. Sweden is the guy who the king with the
Oh.
frog hat.
He was when our king was young, he was like this heartthrob because he was very fit and he was in the military. He's the equivalent of a Navy SEAL.
Hmm. Except he didn't actually have to do any of the Navy SEAL stuff in real life. He just had to meet the requirements.
Oh yes, he did. He did
Oh.
do the training.
He did the training, I'm saying, but he didn't go on the missions. He didn't actually go out and murder brown people.
No, but this is also because
Navy SEAL stuff.
this was in the 90s, so there weren't any conflicts to send Danish soldiers to.
That didn't stop making the movie Navy SEALs, which is like it's an excellent movie to watch if you just want to kill brain cells. Honestly,
They're doing a trope.
that's the one with Charlie Sheen and Dennis Haysbert.
I think Iron Eagle was on BBC America. Iron Eagle.
Yeah. Hello, George P. George P. said in the chat, when I used to work at IHOP, a coworker who did reported for homophobia, who I reported for homophobia, racism, and sex, and didn't get fired for it. I was told it was just his opinions. But
Yeah, well, that's just like your bigotry, man.
But she did fire for picking a fight with the dishwasher who might have accidentally got her wet with a hose. Victory, okay? Pick a fight with the dishwasher. We can't have that.
Well, because
Yeah.
the dishwasher is vital to operations. You have no idea how fast those dishes will stack up during the dinner rush.
That I can believe, honestly.
Whereas queer people don't stack up during the dinner rush. Well, I mean, they do, just not at IHOP. I'm saying they have orgies sometimes.
So they did fire him too. So yeah.
Which
Oh.
I have.
Oh, jeez.
International Hands of Pancakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like Denny's, but like maybe slightly better, honestly.
No,
I
no,
don't.
no. I was making a joke because there's also this thing called the International House of Prayer.
I prefer the
Oh.
interdimensional hole of pancakes, but that's just me.
Okay, so we do have to clarify when we say IHOP. Yes. Okay.
Yes. I
Everybody
think they
say
get
that?
allowed to call themselves international because they are in the U.S. and Canada.
I guess technically, so like this, just like the Major League Major League Baseball can technically call their like final like sporting event of the season the World Series because they did invite Canada twice, the Toronto Blue Jays twice.
I mean, to be fair, Mr. Universe has universally been won by people on Earth.
Same with Miss Universe as well too.
It is in the universe.
It's technically in the
No,
universe,
IHOP
yes.
has always been called IHOP, even when it was only located in Los Angeles.
Of course, Americans and Los Angeles people too. Very how presumptuous is that?
IHOP
because
owns
they have-
Applebee's.
They're called
Funny thing is, I think the name wasn't about, like, initially they were like really big on having breakfast menus internationally, like having
Yeah, waffles,
like,
French toast,
that was-
omelets.
yeah, that was a thing that they like. Yeah, like this is our Belgian thing. This is our, and that whole deal.
Yeah, okay.
Isaiah, you were trying to say something.
Oh no, I was gonna say something stupid about IHOP.
Oh yes,
Go
we
ahead.
are a deeply intellectual podcast, and that would not be
Oh, I was
acceptable.
we can't have that.
But lol, go on.
Some dumb shit. I don't know.
No, say it.
No, I'm not. 'Cause it's so fucking stupid. I'm not gonna say it. It's stupid.
Okay, Ellie, what you were about to say?
No, I was just wondering if, I was in the US like in 1997. I know it's like a million years ago. I
Yeah.
think we
Wanna
went
come
there.
back?
Yeah. I think we went there and they, instead of giving us crepes, they gave us French toast. And we had to send it back.
I would be very surprised if crepes were even on the menu.
Yeah.
Possible.
A lot of places have crepes on the menu. They're not good crepes, but
Yeah, I imagine so. We made crepes in like 8th grade, like home ec class. So it's like we understand what it is. I don't think the crepes at the mall would be that great anyway, but like I wouldn't know because.
Oh,
Like,
I got to open that restaurant. Crepes at the mall.
But
High class and low class at the same time.
like most sort of pancakes in Europe are not, they don't have baking powder in them, so they're just flat, but they're not quite crepes. They're because they're not thin enough to be crepes. They're kind of sort of
They're
kind of
matzo pancakes?
thick. No. Yeah, they're just sort of, yeah.
Oh, piece of crap.
Yeah.
That's a great name, Osmo Dark. But I'm sure someone has already taken that, like their crepe place they call a piece of crepe.
Piece of crepe. Yeah.
Now, I want to open a bar on Main Street and call it Thirsty. Thirsty on Main.
I like that. That's fun.
All the black girl magic will happen at that place.
What was at the top of my head? What was about to say something? I don't know. Wait. Okay, so what's the difference between pancakes and flapjacks?
I think they're the same thing.
That's what I thought.
I think so too.
I want to say flapjacks, by their nature, are like smaller, like silver dollar things. They're
No.
like pancakes.
Let's see. Dictionary.com says that while flapjacks is an informal term for pancakes, some people may use the term hotcakes and griddle cakes to refer to specific types of pancakes. In the UK, the word flapjack refers to something entirely different.
Yeah, that's an oat bar thing.
Ah.
Yeah.
Pancake
course,
is a
it's
general
like-
term that's applied to many slightly different preparations. Some may be very thin, others may be thicker and fluffier. That just makes me think of Gabriel Iglesias. He's a stand-up comic who calls himself Fluffy because he's a big dude.
different preparations.
And if you make pancakes
Gabriel
wrong,
Iglesias.
if you make pancakes wrong, it's like a rubber disc.
Mm-hmm. You make a
Yeah.
hockey puck. Yeah.
Yeah, very true. It's just like if you try to like make bread, but you do it wrong, you make bricks instead.
Yeah.
You need more water, as we're to, but I've been told. But like, I don't know. I haven't baked in a long time.
Huh,
Then
I
again,
have
like,
never
what-
heard the term hotcakes before. I am falling down a word rabbit hole on this. In both the US and the UK, the term hotcakes is used as a synonym of pancakes.
For the longest time, McDonald's pancakes were referred to as hotcakes.
I heard the term like it sounded like hotcakes, so like I've heard of hotcakes in like
that
a
does actually sound familiar.
yes, and like a euphemism as well too. It's like it's selling really fast, it's selling really well. It sounded like hotcakes, yeah.
Is that
And
And then we get griddle cakes.
yeah? Is it also like a regional thing?
Probably
Possibly.
like Coke, soda, pop, cola.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I will stay with the pop and soda, doesn't matter with me whether you call it pop or call it soda. I call it both and something like that. But like Coke is a specific brand, and cola is a type of soda.
Okay, MB.
My personal favorite of that is like one that's only in the Wisconsin area. There was a manufacturer of water fountains, like the to drink from water fountains.
Right.
That
If you're white,
actually yes,
True.
because the big thing about them is it was one of the first refrigerated water fountain companies. And
Ah.
in the area, like they were branded pretty prominently with a big old sign up front that said bubbler. And now water fountains in Wisconsin and some parts of Minnesota and
they're
upper
called
Illinois
bubblers, yeah.
will be referred to as bubblers.
I should probably ask my mom.
Like
this,
Kleenex
'cause-
brand tissues.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
Like that, but more localized.
Yeah.
Yeah, more exactly.
I mean, it's pretty local to the UP, but
Yeah. Okay, so my mom probably has like they know of bubblers as well too. She's from like the Upper Peninsula.
That's always
not UP,
So
Upper
fun.
Midwest.
that's
UP
always
is specifically the Upper Peninsula.
Upper
Yes.
Peninsula, Michigan. Yeah. But anyway, as you were saying, Illy.
it's always like so fun. Fun. I don't know if it's fun, but it's like when you speak English as a second language, you kind of have to choose which words you use because you know that a lot of them are like synonyms of and are interchangeable, but it
Yeah.
depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
It's like saying lift instead of elevator to an American
Yeah.
person is you have to sort of choose. Do I say lift or do I say elevator?
Right, exactly. I mean, it's yeah, but like there are brand names that have like become nicknames of general products before in the USA. Why is it worse with like Coke? I don't know as well too. Like Nintendo became synonymous with video games, with Kleenex for tissue paper, Band-Aids for adhesive strips. And but like
Yeah.
but like
Isaiah
also
wants to say something.
Yeah, go ahead, Isaiah.
Yeah, I was gonna interject with that. Piggybacking what Ellie said. I have a British friend of mine who says that so in America we say sit down, but I
Yes.
think over there they say sit up. That's what
That's interesting.
that's what she told me. Don't quote me on it, but
Well, no, speaking of speaking of American, speaking of British English between American English, Marty Avenatti, our friend, she thought that like if she worked in like the UK, it's easier for her. She doesn't have to learn new language. There won't be any language confusion, except that when she learned how some words they're the same words, we have similar words, but they mean different things in the UK. For example, what we America call pants, the UK calls trousers. What we call
Mhm.
underwear, that's the UK calls pants.
Mhm.
And you
And
have
so she did so she's a radiographer. She's a person that you see to get like X-rays or something like that, right? That. And so she did a faux pas and told someone to lower their pants instead of lowering their trousers. And also, we call it panties, while in the UK they call them knickers as well too. Uh,
it's also like my first English teacher taught us that it was called a waste paper basket.
yeah.
My next English teacher said, no, it's called a bin.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like we call it in waste paper baskets that is used in the Americas. We don't call it bin, definitely for sure. We don't. It'd be like a garbage bin or a dumpster bin or a trash bin as well too.
Yeah.
But no, it's usually a trash can when we say
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And it's just like bin is just so much shorter.
I agree, honestly. But strangely enough, like I would not have known this until Marty mentioned this, but like she ordered a lemonade, but what she got was like what we would call the brand name be Sprite or like Starry or like Sarah Miss or 7 Up, a lemon lime soda. She was wanting like a sugary lemon juice drink as word too. And turns
Mhm.
out that like that's a different name in like the UK.
Yeah.
That's a cloudy lemonade.
Yeah.
Because the UK is stupid and full of
They're
racist
the ones that invent
imperialists.
the language. Well, racist imperialists, yes, I won't deny that.
They're the wrong kind of racist imperialists, though. They're focused on India instead of Mexico.
Now we're focused on
China.
the rest of the world. Well, yeah, we're focused on China. The UK is focused on like the Middle East right now.
They hate people wrong. They're bad at
I
hating
kind of want to
people.
watch a band called A Packet of Fags.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
But there's also a food in Britain that's called a faggot.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I heard about that. Also, like a German friend that I knew said that like a German word for the bassoon is faggot as well. And it's like
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
but this is why context is very important.
You're right, Asma. U.S. and the UK are both fully behind Israel.
Yeah.
Except for for some reason, Israeli genocide is not quite as acceptable with the general public at the moment. At least in the U.S. I don't know how things are going in the U.K.
Well,
and as for brand names becoming nicknames for general products in the U.S., that was before the Supreme Court ruled that when that happens, you lose the trademark on the name.
Ooh,
I heard
interesting.
someone say something.
no, that was actually me. I was
Oh, like
You played
weird.
Clueless.
no, that was some other like YouTube channel that I had on.
Yeah.
So that's why, the commercials changed to I am stuck on Band-Aid band because Band-Aid stuck on me because they didn't want to become genericized, as it's known.
Yes, exactly.
And that's why it's Kleenex brand facial tissue, not Kleenex.
Yes.
They have to make the distinction in their commercials so that they can argue to the court that if people use it, it's not because of us. We did not encourage them to genericize it.
Yeah. But speaking of like the U.S. and the U.K. like defending defending the genocide against the Palestinian people, apparently, I haven't been catch up with the news, and apparently, Hamas has like offered a ceasefire deal to release all the hostages. I think to release all the hostages, but like at the end, the hostilities must end as well too, at the end of the genocide. But apparently, also Biden said that there's a ceasefire deal proposed by Israel, and yet all of the Israel
Well, an
officials
Israel version of the ceasefire is they stop firing.
yes.
Yeah,
Israeli
It's
ceasefire
so-
agreement is everyone line up against this wall. We'll only fire for a couple of moments at that point.
And then we cease.
Yes, we ceasefire.
And then you
after
cease,
that.
yes.
We'll cease when they're deceased. Yeah.
No, it's so bizarre how much the general public is against the genocide, but the official, also in my country, the official sort of the media and the politicians are backing Israel, and it's so weird. It's just like, what are you
Do
doing?
you guys
I mean,
have wait? Do you guys have like religious fundies in your country?
not
Yes,
really.
I do.
Because
It's
that
not,
may
it's
be
not really for that reason. It's I think it's for it's for commercial reasons.
I was gonna say it's probably more of a financial entanglement. The Israel is
Yeah.
wrapped really tightly into the global financial market.
Wow, way to go
Yeah,
full anti-Semitic. The Jews control the banks, Joe.
No,
No, the country of Israel.
no. It's
Hmm.
I think it's just that it's the same thing with. There was a bit of a misunderstanding with our Copenhagen Pride, because Pride said to some companies, could you talk about what are you doing to promote human rights in other countries, and could you give us a satisfying answer? And then they took it as, what is your position on Gaza? And then a lot of big companies drew their support because they didn't want to answer, which is predictable.
Mhm.
Because they profit.
Yeah, it's so that's the thing about like capitalism as well too. If it's like profitable to commit genocide, then the capitalists will proudly commit genocide. Same thing with like polluting the earth and like a whole bunch of other things. It's possible to be racist and sexist, and then they'll be racist and sexist. Going to like leave. Hopefully, I will have my headset sorted out so I can like tell you about like our like election next week. Yeah, pretty much it's like next week or the week afterwards as well too. Oh, yeah, and but I'm probably the only one not wearing trousers.
I'm doing laundry.
Okay, so you are not wearing trousers right now.
So that's why I say they come in culotte.
But you changed that title, as
Yes.
it were.
Ceasefire. We'll ceasefire when they're deceased. But
Yeah,
I'm
alright.
pretty sure everyone here is against genocide. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently, if you are against genocide or basically pro-Palestine, you're called a watermelon freak. At least I learned that.
watermelon freak?
You know
I-
the weird
That comes from TikTok, where they censored the Palestinian flag, so they
Yeah.
began to post watermelons.
Yes.
Because
Oh.
Oh,
watermelons have
because my first thought was that somehow that was
Colors.
some seriously weird anti-black racism.
Yeah, I did thought so too.
I was going to comment on that. You know, it's kind of hilarious that the watermelon is now seen as like a symbol of liberation, when for so long that's been like one of the most racist symbols in the black language.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is it-
it's sort of like fried chicken and a 40.
Yeah.
But I mean,
no,
watermelons are a staple of Southern culture. It's just that
Hmm.
white people don't realize that Southern culture includes white people.
Yeah, but also like,
Mm.
but like, so yeah, that Ellie's right that like because of so much censorship of Palestinian flag, people use watermelon emoji or other things like that because similar colors to the Palestinian flag. But
Oh, that
also,
makes sense.
watermelons is a staple
Yeah.
of like Palestinian food as well too.
Mm.
Oh,
And I recently learned that there was once a U.S. politician. He was the vice presidential candidate one year when you had a dude who was both the Democratic candidate and the Republican candidate. Um, his vice presidential candidate was such a notorious alcoholic that at one point he was so drunk, instead of buttering a piece of bread, he buttered a piece of watermelon. And then he leaned into it and ate the fucking slice of watermelon.
Okay, fair on him doing that, but like, but he probably was also that drunk too.
How do you butter a piece of watermelon? Wouldn't it just slide right off?
I have no idea. It might have been grilled watermelon. I have no idea.
Or
lust.
people put salt on watermelon a lot. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that good combination of flavors. I can see. My mom puts salt on salads and pizza. I can see you're putting salt on a watermelon slice.
Yeah, I can.
But
see
we
that
lost
too.
Ely. That's
Unfortunately.
wish I didn't hate the texture of watermelon because I like the flavor, but there's so little of it
Wait,
that I
what
can't
flavor?
get over the texture.
Watermelon pit makes me.
what
Like I
flavor?
said, there's so little of it.
Watermelon makes me pee too much. I don't really like it.
It's nothing
Okay,
but
that
water,
was bad.
hence the name.
Yeah, a black guy does not like. Huh.
Well, it's okay that you don't like watermelon. You
Yeah,
don't,
it's
just because
perfectly
you like,
okay.
you don't have to like watermelon.
No,
I mean,
I like-
you're a bad black person for not liking watermelon.
I like watermelon. I just don't. Piss.
Welcome back, Ely. Was it
Yeah, I don't know
wasn't
what happened.
looted this time?
What?
Did you disconnected? Wasn't looted this time?
No, my internet has been super weird lately.
Okay,
Sort of
yeah.
drops out.
Your landlord is probably trying to get you to move out.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
why I would say that, except for the fact that I hate landlords because they're all pieces of shit.
Yeah. But my landlord finally got the message that I changed my name 6 years ago.
I guess good thing that like it happened now, but like
That's
why did it take so long?
bit of a delay.
I wrote sort of a bit of an angry message, sort of like, this is my name. This has been my name for 6 years. It's on our national security system. That is my.
And then you put that angry message on the outside of a bottle full of gasoline with a rag in it.
No, John Brockman, do not do stochastic terrorism.
Yes,
Stop
in
thinking
this
about
podcast, we
terrorism.
only do
That's the next-
stochastic terrorism.
That was the next step if they had not gotten the message.
Okay then.
But I would probably have used a brick and not a Molotov cocktail.
Yeah.
Is it called that in
It is called the
Yes, it
Molotov
is.
cocktail.
Yes.
Yes, but we who are actually of like radical left wing politics and anarchists called freedom potions.
yeah.
I like watermelons, especially watermelon from this kind. Watermelon from this kind is alright, but I love the liquid in watermelon as well. I like the tasty food, but like but a bit of like the sweet drink at the same time. I can see that. And I actually
Watermelon
love-
is to fruit what Turkish delights are to candy.
Do you
That's a
even
shout
think
out to
that-
all the people who ate C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis, Chronicles of Narnia.
Hmm.
Because British candy in the 40s was garbage.
Hmm.
Yeah. And you kind of don't understand why Edward ate so much of it.
Why he would be
mom-
tempted so much he would turn to Satan himself. Who C.S. Lewis made a woman because he was a good person.
And it's just like my mother said about those books, they're always eating.
Yep.
There's always like long descriptions of the food that they eat.
There's this science fiction writer, I forget his name, but like all of his stories, like every character seems deeply addicted to caffeine. Like there's always mentions of it's like, oh, I don't know how I could get by without my coffee. Like no matter what, it's always several characters that are super into that. It's like, I think he might have a problem.
I am so proud of myself for designing this whole cosplay that I'm making by myself. I'm so proud of myself.
Which cosplay are you talking about? Are you talking about your NASA cosplay?
Yes.
Yes. That is
Yeah,
a
that
very,
is-
very good cosplay. You should be
Yeah.
proud of yourself.
Yeah.
So, I think, and I think that's why I sometimes work. I guess I spend money on my little things I like to keep myself sane with. So
I mean, that's how you survive under capitalism.
Yeah. We just
You
like
find a little
do.
project of worth and you dedicate yourself to that while keeping yourself alive.
Mhm.
Or heroin.
My grandmother was a costume designer for theaters, and she made
For
the most
Führers?
amazing-
Theaters.
Sorry.
yeah,
Sorry.
She worked with
Yeah,
Hugo
and-
Boss, John.
and she made the most amazing space suit for my big brother
Nice.
when
Nice.
and I sort of thought about that when Isaiah talked about his cosplay. I wish I had a picture of it.
It's really nice, Ellie.
Yeah.
And I've been watching like a lot of like Titanic stuff as usual. So
Mhm.
Yes.
You got high and watched it last night. You got
Yeah.
legally high on life last night.
yeah, it's like the music hits more, the sound, the coloring. It's just I don't know. James Cameron made such an amazing movie. That's
Yeah.
it.
So
This is
much
my-
better than the
No,
other
The
movie
Abyss
he made
is
about.
very good.
Yeah, I love The Abyss. I love all his movies.
I love the medical, the attention to detail about medical care in The Abyss.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
When what's his
Yeah.
name, Ed Harris, is terrified that his wife is dying, so he shows her tits to everyone and starts slapping her in the face. That's a really
Yep.
great example of CPR.
I haven't actually seen the movie in a long time.
I do remember that scene though.
Yeah.
I mean, it had titties in it.
I do not remember this.
In Florida,
It's possible
I was
that
12. I remember it vividly.
it's possible that what do you call it? Because I remember watching it on cable, so it's possible I just never saw that scene.
Yeah, it's possible. My family had the VHS, so I did watch that like a movie quite a bit.
so in Florida news, we
Mhm.
can't talk about climate change anymore.
Ah, fucking Rhonda sandwich.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, it's getting kind of hot.
Well, it's funny because half of the state actually flooded over a couple of days ago. So
That was the coincidence.
That was an act of God.
it was an act of gardening. Is that what
Yeah.
Florida is so fucked.
Hey, but I live here though, so there's that.
Yes. Which is
Start
the-
going to pride parades and handing out freedom potions, and maybe you can change things.
Well, I'm working on it.
There's-
But didn't they get? Didn't Ron DeSantis get his ban on trans healthcare overturned?
I have
It
like-
wouldn't surprise me. They've been doing so much bullshit. It's hard to keep track, and that's kind of the point.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like also like he'll say that he'll give a couple billion towards education, but then like he'll then treat teachers like dog shit the next day.
Man, I was really hoping that guy would be Scott Walkered. Just doing so badly in a presidential primary that it destroys his gubernatorial career.
I would hope
does.
that being a racist, homophobic piece of shit would do that. But no, this
Yeah,
is America.
that's a sad state, isn't it?
It's Florida, so what you gonna do?
Oh.
It's the South that's still got his head stuck up its
Oh,
ass.
I mean, to use the example I used,
Yeah.
Scott Walker was notoriously anti-union
Mm.
in a state that was one of the major union strongholds.
Yeah.
So, you know, being being bad at your job isn't disqualifying if you get enough if you're Republican.
Yeah. So no, so Ailey, I did look it up. Yeah, and not too long ago, like, a federal judge ruled that like a Florida's 2023's like law banning medical care for transgender children is unconstitutional. Um, so yeah, it was got struck down by the courts at least. So at least there's that. So
Let's
yeah.
see, trying to remember what else is going on. Unfortunately, I'm like 2 months behind in my podcasts, so all the news that I'm aware of is 2 months old. Like the
Um,
fact that Donald Trump is bankrupt and going to prison.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, for people
Did
that
anyone
are
else watch
going
the
to vote
video of when Alex Jones found out he was gonna lose his ranch? Oh, it's so beautiful.
I did not. I did hear about it, but I did not.
Oh,
Clips of it.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, what were you
Oh.
asking, Ellie?
I don't remember now. Sorry.
No problem. So yeah, so yeah, I did not see that video, but like that is like good that he has to like sell his like Alex Jones has to sell his ranch to pay off his legal bills. Yeah, but Greg Abbott is like, good at making laws, and like states having like a fun copy, and then Greg Abbott is trying to like do the to effectively make it illegal to protest. Yeah, Greg Abbott, the
Mhm.
governor of Texas. Yeah.
Mm.
And immigration is also like terrible and shitty because like Greg Abbott just like doing the fascism as well too. Oh yeah, that's what's also like Biden has just done as well. Because like so all the liberals were like up in arms, rightfully so, with like everyone else. Is about like Trump's like family separation to the border and that crackdown as well too. But yet, now that Biden's in the office, immigration is like still absolutely terrible, and like
Mhm.
I think Biden just
We
like
have
made it,
kinder, gentler concentration camps.
and like so it's kind of weird. It basically the Twitter account like holding Biden accountable from the left like would like do the thing where like it shows like two different like headlines, one from like the Trump era, and it shows like, okay, liberals were outraged when Trump did it, but now that Biden's did it, they will write opinion piece of like, well, why is this, well, why we have to make peace with this or something like that, or why is this a good thing as well too. I mean, don't get me started on immigration. We could talk a whole show about that because I work with immigration activism. Yeah, I like what Robin Evans of like it could happen here, like said, the reason why the Democrats don't care about like immigration at all and won't do anything to like make progress on immigration to like make it better at all is because like the majority of the citizens of the United States of America just don't care. They don't care. They don't live close to the border. They don't know anyone that is immigrated. They don't talk to other people as well too, or people outside their social group, honestly. So there you go. And so the Democrats will not win on being pro-immigration. So that's why they are tough on immigration as well too, to just try to fight against like the Republicans like throwing accusations at them for being soft on immigration. They want to, just like with the thing on crime, the Democrats wanted to show they're also tough on crime. And so yeah, the Republicans polls to the right, but like the like Democrats like kind of sometimes are pulled to the right with them, or they follow along with them as well too. They never cared about it. It just affect the border. Anyone who is like isn't from a majority white country has like a more difficult like time to immigrate here too. Yeah, we saw that instantly when like we were welcoming like Ukraine refugees easily when that conflict happened. Even though there was many people from the Congo, from like Nigeria, and like other places in Africa that were trying to like leave Ukraine as well too, but because they were black, they had difficulty at the border trying to like become leaving Ukraine. Well, like all the Ukrainians,
Put on them or something.
yeah. Well, the Ukrainians were easily welcomed into like the UK, France, and like other European
Yeah.
countries, and like
Even even my conservative mother said, "Oh, they're getting out. They're getting in so easy." But of course, her point wasn't that the other immigrants should get in just as easy, is that they should get the same treatment as the other refugees.
yeah.
Yeah. The there was a what do you call it? Speaking about Robert Evans, like they on one of their episodes there were of it can happen here or it can happen here. They were talking about the justice system and not being super enthusiastic about, the when people they disagreed with were punished badly. It's like, yeah, that's not like I get it. I get the catharsis part of that,
Mhm.
but at the same time, it's like that's not that's not our point. Our
Mhm.
point is that everyone should be treated better, not just
Mhm.
like we don't want people we disagree with to be treated worse. We want other people to be treated better by the carceral system.
Yeah,
I don't want there
exactly.
to be a carceral system.
Yeah.
I think that we should just kill everyone who commits any sort of crime. If they're white.
Yeah.
We should kill all white people.
Oh.
Instantly kill all
No,
white
we
people?
shouldn't kill all white people. I'm being absurdist.
I mean, give wage theft the same penalties as armed robbery.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah,
just look
I
at the
mean,
difference between
it's
you
the
stealing $50 from the till and your boss taking $50 from your waycheck, and you know that we live in a very fucked system.
yeah,
One
and
is theft, the other is a civil penalty.
and it's worse. It's worse for your boss to do it because your boss can fire you. You are not in a position to do anything back about that. So,
And
if anything,
you
it's
losing $50 is a huge problem. Your boss
yeah,
losing $50 is not.
is a tax write-off.
Yeah.
See, Kirok, you're not here. You're not on live chat. You're not watching this as well too. This is why I'm still not in favor of small businesses because of that. At least not the current system as it is.
Oh, there was this big sort of a documentary in Denmark exposing, you know, money laundering,
Hmm.
and how much you could set up a certain business, and then you could just launder money and take a lot of money out, and all the politicians act like like if they're act like they're just beyond shocked, but I think they're shocked because it got exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only concern. It's just like it just like caught. That's the word too. Oh, we got like a 30 minutes, so like this is a good time to like open up like a topic and discuss this as well too.
Yeah.
Do you believe some folks are more valuable to society than others? And I will specify this as like
Yes, the workers.
a classification of people, not just individuals themselves. Because like
The workers.
because Kurok said to me that, like, yes, he values some folks more than others in society. Like, he values a doctor more than a fast food worker.
But it's just like a doctor doesn't make his burger at 5 a.m. in the morning when he.
It's just-
Yeah.
and how someone like answered that question in like Twitter, it kind of like presented like play D&D as it were too. Is a barbarian or a warrior or a monk are those like character classes more valuable than like a mage or a cleric or something like that? Now maybe some people can like go in the weeds about like meta and say like which is more valuable as well too. But a party of all warriors is not going to do that well as opposed to a well balanced party with like one that can tank and one that can heal and one that can do range.
So after or during the pandemic, when the essential workers were was often people who worked in service fields and people who worked in the medical field, and a lot of the other jobs, weren't considered that.
Mhm.
There were so many times when I would like go to a drive-through and see like, this much off for any kind of medical worker or whatnot. And
Mhm.
like every time I would be thinking to myself, it's like, the fact that you guys are still working is a big part of what's keeping me sane during this.
Yeah.
Like the ability to still go and like get food on my way home is just so much strain taken off of me that it made my job that was harder at that time easier. And no one recognized that. No
Mhm.
one seemed to recognize, like even the people that were like, it's good that the grocery store workers are still here.
Mhm.
No one seemed to value the food service people that were still in their jobs.
Not even a
Yeah.
little bit.
But that's also probably due to the stigma around fast food and like
Mhm.
Yeah, and like I've had this conversation probably on here as well, but
Mhm.
I make a very decent wage, and I worked in fast food for about 2.5 years. And even if they paid what I get now, I would not go back. It is a worse job. Not
Yeah.
even because it pays less, it's just a worse job.
The closest I have to that is I worked at a gas station for 4 years and 3 months.
As David Graeber would put it, a shit job.
Yeah,
You say a bullshit job.
No,
Well,
no,
no,
bullshit job is when the job you're doing has no value. A shit job
Yes.
is where the job you're doing means you get treated like shit.
It's your job is
where,
to
where a job you're doing treats you as if you have no value.
Mhm.
Yes,
No,
exactly.
well put, Joe.
As or like a custodial work, Isaiah, you would agree that like that is like value that needs to be like done and stuff like that. So custodian or janitor, they do contribute and give value to like the society by what they do, but yet those jobs are not paid well. It's a shit job.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
What do you call it? If you want to know whether or not you value the work of a custodian, uh, have a bad one. It's like
Yes.
you'll notice.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like we'll mention like a couple things in the comments. Oswald said, no, the workers shouldn't be more valuable than disabled people who can't work in the jobs that counts as work, and I agree. I know people should be more valuable than others. There was a couple people that would point out that they value like Nazis and fascists like less, but I think we agree there that's like an individual person as well too, not a well maybe it's you could call it a classification of people as well too, but it's kind of like, well, that's because Nazis and fascists value others like far less for like things that are out of control. It's like I say those are shit people that I don't want to associate with at all. So it's like, but it like so like I can't understand why people say that. But apart from that, I do not like value a doctor more than like a fast food worker. It's in certain situations where it's like, yeah, if I'm sick, I would value a doctor more right then and there. But then if I'm hungry, I'll value a fast food worker a bit more right then and there because of the need.
When you have just been treated by a doctor, then you need a burger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't
Then
have
you
to.
don't need a doctor.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a worse job either. Capsules makes them do their best to have mediocre results for the least money paid. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I could be a custodian, like let's say at the Kennedy Space Center,
Yeah.
but see, I could enjoy that because I like space so much.
But
Well,
then you get fired for climbing into the spaceship and going vroom vroom vroom.
Yeah, that could happen.
Well, that could happen, but maybe honestly, if that happened, it'd be like whoever will give you a stink eye, or is it like, oh, not on company hours, so it's just like only when the time's right, or it's just like, or don't be caught doing that as well too. But like, no, so on a comment on Steve Shi's, this was like his like comment video of Trek actually, but like after someone like he mentioned something about like his like Star Trek economics videos that he did, but then someone in the comments said that like he found out later, or like he found out that the janitor that worked at his like elementary school or something like that, or one of his schools, won the lottery. He's a millionaire. He won the $1 million in the lottery, but then put it in the bank or invested after he paid his taxes, but continued to work as a janitor at the elementary school because he loves the kids. So just like you, Zayter, being willing to like do janitorial work at the Kennedy Space Center as well too, you have a passion. You can do
Or the Titanic Museum or the Queen Mary, although I don't live in Long Beach, but you know.
right. So like you would have like be willing to do work for like even like a shit job work or a crummy job as well too at like certain establishments. It's work because of your love for like that example I gave the kids at the elementary school, or for your love of space and like museums and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I say that like even for the crummy crappy jobs, there will be people that will probably be willing to do that, or it has to be proven to me that no one's willing to do that. And if we are at that point where no one's willing to do that kind of work,
Then we'll do stuff for them.
and or automate that jobs, or at the same time, assist them in doing that work, like splitting the work up amongst all the people willing to do it, or also automating those jobs away so that like no one has to.
Like, there are people who genuinely, I mean, they don't necessarily enjoy cleaning, but they see it as important and they put their backs into it. Whereas I leave my toilet alone until it starts growing a civilization, and then I enjoy destroying that civilization because I'm an American. Also, it's brown, so I mean.
Okay.
I just wow, you had to be so American there, didn't you, John Brockman? Wow.
Double down.
Osmo Dark said in the chat, they largely manipulate people who are working against themselves. They need to be punished for what's done and better education overall, but cruel ideologies are often the symptom of a problem. The concept of placing value on a group of people is like weird and not necessary. Yeah. And but like, so how Kurok would like say is that a doctor's more valuable because like they have to go to school for like 12 years, while like a fast food worker gets like what 6 weeks of on-job training as well too. And so Kurok,
okay, medical school is just HV AC school for rich people.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's a concept or a problem.
It's called.
Yes, and that's why like Kurok has a issue. Doesn't realize as well too. He just doesn't realize it. Let's see. You know, my older sibling like commented on Facebook on this post is like, I mean, our society, it is as it is now. Certain values of some people, it's certain values some. It certainly values some people more than it values others. On a personal level, I definitely value some people, my friends and family, more than I value others. To be fair, everyone does as well. The in-group bias is well established. I will also comment and say, no. I'm personally, for myself, I value the people in this call a lot more than a stranger, but that doesn't mean I'm going to treat the stranger like shit. They will get a baseline sort of like, niceness or kindness from me in that like, oh, hello, what do you need? Oh, the time of day. It's like blah blah. Oh, the bus is over there. It's like, oh, the airline hasn't come yet as well too. Oh, I'm not going to like treat them terribly. No, no, they'll get a baseline kind of like niceness or kindness from me because just for being a person as well too. But I'll probably be more generous and more kind to like my friends and my family because I do personally, just for me, value them more than others. Now interesting that like my older sibling did like further comment. A pivotal moment in my political radicalization was realizing those two evaluations were at odds. I recognized that my stepkids will likely never lead a valuable life as such as the one that I've been conditioned to pursue. They're likely never be contributing members of society in terms of economic benefits or productive activity, which I've been taught was the most important thing I can do with my life, similar to how Kirok values being self-reliant as well too. My oldest sibling continues. Something I had to give, and it was my commitment to society's valuations of individual worth, which is something Kirok hasn't done yet. But without such a clear and unambiguous way of qualifying someone's values, such as wealth creation, how can I judge or evaluate anyone on a systemic level? I realize I can't. So while there are certainly some people who I personally value more than others, I no longer believe that society should value some people more than others. This really calls into question what we even mean when we talk about someone's value or worth. But those conversations are we really need to have a lot more often because most people don't, and probably because they realize how distasteful they find the final result if they were to follow their logic to its ultimate conclusion. A huge wall of cognitive dissonance, that is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. What do you call it? I used to work at a nonprofit with people with extra needs,
Mhm.
and
Wow,
there
virtue signal
was
much?
uh no, it just that's what I did. And there was a lot of employees there that were uh essentially they worked there because they financially were allowed to because their spouse made a decent amount of money.
Mm.
And a lot of them had like really regressive views on stuff. And
Karen's everywhere.
universally, every single one of them that worked there with that thing had a person in their lives, either a kid or like a niece or an aunt or a nephew, like someone close to their family who had Downs or severe autism or some other thing that would put them in the same system that the people we helped. And it's like, oh, I mean, it's so much. It's like I get it. I get
Like the
why.
Republicans who suddenly stop wanting to kill gay people when their kid turns out to be gay.
Yeah, exactly. It's just this having empathy for just people who impact your life. I don't get it.
Mhm.
But
And it's also what education you can get.
Yeah.
Always
Mm-hmm.
up to you entirely. It's not always about hard work. I have a friend who has studied her whole life to be a psychologist. She's also in a wheelchair, and she cannot find employment despite having done everything right. And it's like why it's just like she has jumped all the hurdles, and a lot of Danish disabled people actually don't make it as far. She's the one out of 10 that actually makes it
Mhm.
to a, to, to a secondary education in Denmark when you're disabled. So um, it's like you can't deny people education and then devalue them afterwards because you denied them that opportunity to get an education and a job. It's
Well,
just
you
like,
can. It just makes you a white supremacist.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like that's what I find annoying, and what I say to people when they say, "Oh, but you don't have an education. You you were lazy," and it's just like, no, I was not lazy. I was denied
Hmm.
high school, and then I was denied help.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. And so that's like I think that's like what's like I always have like this like conflict with like Kirok, like ideologically as well too, is that like he doesn't see it as a problem that he values some people more than others. It's just what it is. And I see that I don't know if I can make it clear to Kirok at all to before he finally gets it that like that's a hierarchy,
Hmm.
and how is that a just hierarchy that like some are more valuable in society than others, like doctors over like fast food workers. And now he used that example because I brought up that example. But then it's kind of like how others react to like that
Well, because
distinction of like,
anyone can be a fast food worker, but only a rich white guy can be a doctor.
yep, that's what
Yeah.
my
Sorry,
medical friend
a
told me.
smart, a very intelligent, hard-working person who earned his place in society can be a doctor. Meritocracy.
Yeah. Can everyone be a fast food worker though? I don't
No.
think so.
No.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that takes probably a lot of special skills to
Mhm.
stand being in that work in that line of work.
Hey,
Like
Isaiah,
have
how much is it like really, really easy and fun to be a fast food worker?
It's not that hard. I mean, when I applied, they pretty much gave me the job a couple of days after, and
No, I'm saying that how easy is it on you personally,
Not
physically,
not
mentally, and
not to get the
emotionally?
job, but to be a fast food worker.
I gotta give it to you. I every day was a struggle. Every day was a struggle. I wouldn't. I survived it somehow. I don't know how I did it, but I wouldn't wish it on people.
Yeah, I
And
Sorry.
and going
Well,
and the funny thing is when you like talk about the 12 years of education or the immense amount of training, if you've ever been to a place, food service in general, I don't generally people don't stay in fast food for over a decade. It
well,
happens, but
actually,
it's
there are
not
people who
super
do.
common anymore. It used to be more common. But
No, I think it's
you
becoming more common actually.
like you can tell the difference about somebody who like knows their stuff and like knows how to handle the problems without talking to the manager and knows how to, you know,
mhm.
knows exactly, will fill in the thing. Like there's benefits to that training and there's benefits to it, it's just all on the job stuff. It's not,
Mhm. Yeah.
12 years
Yeah,
of prep work.
yeah,
And the whole 12 years of prep work to become a doctor, I mean, that is just privilege right there. That's
yeah,
12 years of not having an income. That's
yeah.
12 years of the woman you're going to dump for your second younger wife supporting you.
Hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah, and so yeah, that's why I fight against the idea that it's okay to be a small business owner as well too. Because like, how about you have your employees be collaborators and not just employees? Like, oh, but why should I like give them equal like share of the profits or equal share of the decision making process when they didn't invest into the business as well
They
too?
are
So
invested in the business. If you go under, they lose their fucking job.
Hmm. Yeah, I had a very long Facebook conversation with uh the other Joe from the thing about this, and it's like I'm not saying for you, but for your business, it would be more healthy for that. Like if you got hit by a bus tomorrow, if your workers had full thing, your business would have a better chance to survive. And uh bringing up points like that, like it's not it's only better for you to run things better this way. It's not
Mhm.
actually better for the business.
Yeah,
That's
the
very
other
well
Joe.
put.
It's
See, would that be Joe from
that's
Steve
Serious Minds
Shives?
Joe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
Serious
that's-
Minds Joe.
The guy with the
Yeah,
mustache.
yes. Yes, he blamed he said that like I doxed him for like saying his name out loud at one point or another, which is like I think I did at some point or like in a Steve Shives escalate, but he edited his name out, so it's like I just own up to it this well too.
But
Like
his name is Joe, and we always call him Joe.
I mentioned his last name one time.
Oh, okay. Meanwhile, my name is John Brockman. I live in Greenville, South Carolina, and my social security number is 420691312.
And I'm Jonathan Scott, and I live in like Seattle, Washington, or a suburb of Seattle, Washington. And like, I don't care that my name is out there. The first time I joined a call, like a Google on air like Hangout that was live on YouTube, I would join the call. It was my actual like legal name as my screen name, and so Aslan and said, "Hi, Jonathan Scott." And it's like, fine, I'm just going to. Jonathan's my real name is public knowledge. I did link my Facebook account to my like Discord account before, and so it's like I don't care. Yeah, you can find me. It's just like Jonathan Scott. I just use Somewhere in the Geek as a branding as a word too because I like that.
Yeah, but wasn't it also like that before your real name started to crop up all over the internet, that you had sort of a thing that you called yourself online?
Handle
And now it's
is
not.
what they usually call it.
Yeah.
Or
Handle. Handle. Mine was my last name backwards for years, and the only reason why I dropped it was I don't know. I don't care. It's like I have a very unique name, and I can always get it as a username. So it's like it's just it's it's just like if people know who I am, it's like yeah, tough shit. But
I guess like because I'm one of many Jonathan Scotts, it's actually difficult to find me.
Yeah, I'm so common that there are two famous people with my name.
That's right. There's a famous Jonathan Scott. People were like commenting like, "Oh, Jonathan, I heard about your like divorce." I'm like, "Sorry about that. You're going through it." It's
What?
like, okay. So there's probably a famous Jonathan Scott that just got divorced. It's like that. Okay, Jonathan Silver Scott. He has a show on like home improvement on like the home and gardening channel. Okay, there you go.
I think 187 is the correct police code.
Oh, we're all being very silly right now. 4 minutes left in like the show as well too.
I don't get your joke. Your joke, geek. That's not your actual social security number.
I don't know what you guys were typing.
Mine 420 69 13 12. Come on.
and I did a play on that joke that was more.
Don't get it then.
187 is a police code, 50 refers to the police, and 1312 is ACAB.
yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about 9.
I don't know what yours is. If you accidentally doxed yourself, I can delete that.
You can, yes.
Okay.
I once found a pamphlet sitting out in a museum, and it was really, really clear that the initials spelled ACAB going down the side, and it was just, I don't know if it was on purpose, but it was really funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The what do you call it? I live near a city called Appleton, and it's so funny.
Oh my god, it's full of cops.
I love the cab company that's just Appleton Cab, and it just has
an apple followed by cab.
so good. Just says a cab on the side of the cab.
I posted a meme. Somebody for Pride designed, big old
Oh, yeah.
decal things to go on the side of cop cars.
Mm.
And it has a pride flag, and underneath it says "All
All
colors, are beautiful."
And
And of course, John Burns said, "Oh, so it's okay for cops to ride around with this." It's like, dude,
What John Burns? Hey, it's a strange man. His mind only works for him.
I just don't
and-
respond to him.
Yeah,
I'm willing to
I-
be friends
like,
with him on Facebook. He might occasionally say something interesting or useful.
Yeah,
He might.
occasionally does.
He hasn't yet, but he might.
I can't. There's like times I want to talk to him voice to voice so I can like be clear and like communicating with him. I feel like I'm losing the connections, and when I type out on Facebook as well, though he's never been willing to, and like I don't know. It's like I figured I'm just gonna be just as confused when I'm talking to John Burns voice to voice if I do, and then when I'm talking to him and on Facebook, it's just like. Again, he said that. Oh, so like George Lucas is the same as Goebbels. What? Nope, he did say that on a comment of mine.
I don't know.
I cannot begin to see where he could possibly make that connection.
It's only John Burns that can make that connection.
I saw a person on Blue Sky say, "Is the same kind of Facebook brain rot that makes leftists say that America doesn't have a left-wing party, that the Democrats are right-wing."
Well, I mean, they are. We have two right-wing parties. It's just that one goes further right than the other.
But I was also just saying, it is a right-wing party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The liberals won't see it that way, but like they're liberals, that's why. Okay, John Burns did respond to my "Do you value others more than society, and do you value some folks in society more than others?" He did say irrelevant. Do you believe people are more important than you? Which like I didn't answer, but like kind of answered here. But he did say this: "You're not responsible for others. Like think only what you think and how you act on those thoughts while helping others that matters to you." Okay, that's a good comment. That's one good comment that like John Burns has made. But it's like a broken watch is right twice a day. But anyway,
The Democrats are right all day.
Yeah.
I often get the feelings from his messages and comments, and
He's trying to troll, but he's not good at it.
it's either trying to troll or just really, really enjoys playing devil's advocate.
I think he really enjoys playing devil's advocate.
Like he just really likes arguing, which I at least get it.
Tell me you're a white
had
guy
that-
without telling me you're a white guy.
I had that experience in my younger life.
He's in his 40s now.
Some people don't grow out of that.
Yeah, that's true. But like, it's just kind of John Burns sometimes just reminds me of like, hold on, I'm getting the link for it. Yep, here it is. It reminds me of this like a comment. That's up with socializing with him a long time ago. That's fair, John P.
Yeah,
But-
it's probably for the best.
Where's the chat? Okay, I'm just going to post in the Zoom chat right now. John Burns sometimes reminds me of that. A sea lion.
Yep.
Oh.
And from now on, when I picture him, he will look like a thumb and have a big mustache.
Now I'm remembering that episode of Steven stuff with the sea lion.
Joff.
Yeah. I asked Steve Shives if Toby Benson and
Jack McPherson.
Jack McPherson was still together.
Unfortunately, canonically, no, they can't be because Toby Benson was like Steve's wife's stuffed animal.
Yeah,
So
I know, but I asked if they were together off screen.
maybe it's a long distance relationship.
It's important.
Yeah.
They were a very healthy couple, despite
Really?
the fact that
Like-
what's his name was not a healthy person.
Yeah.
The teddy bear.
Both of
Stuffy.
them.
Yeah.
Oh no, Jack McPherson, the teddy bear. Yeah. Jack McPherson. No, he's not a healthy person, honestly.
Toby, I think, is actually a pretty healthy dude.
Yeah, I think Toby is a pretty healthy dude as well too.
I mean, he's just honest about what he wants, and he
Yes.
doesn't try to hurt people.
Yes.
Jack McPherson is a raging alcoholic, and that's a problem.
That's at least that is a problem for him, and maybe some people around him. But most of the times, it's just a problem for him. But like, at least he will ask for like people's pronouns, even if he doesn't use it, because well, it's nice to know.
Yep. And gotta say, I don't have my D&D game tonight, already confirmed, because Father's Day and DM's on vacation. So we can keep on going for a while more if we want. Make up for me not showing up last week.
I don't know. I haven't like.
But if other people need to leave, I'm just saying it's open to me. Other people can take off or not if they want.
I don't know. I guess I don't have any other like the topics I can bring up. I had to like scroll through like my Facebook or like other things to see if I did have like a question.
I have one thing that kind of
Fire away.
It's about my about I think it's 2 months ago now. I dropped having my Twitter account, and yesterday someone reached out to me and said, "Oh, I didn't realize you left," and it's just like, yeah, it's 2 months ago, and it's just, and she was like, "Oh, I miss your account," and it's just like, then make an account in another media and follow me there. It's just like I've been in other places. It's just like if you miss me, then
Yeah, well, the thing is, they couldn't know to follow you in those other places because you didn't post about it on Twitter.
I did. I did post about it when I left. When I left, I did post about it. But it's also just like it just seems like such a dumpster fire now. Twitter.
Oh, it is nothing but bots and Nazis.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great name for a
Botsies?
movie. Bots and Nazis.
Botsies.
Bots versus Nazis.
Well, hold on. Osman, it might be tempting to like grab you, but I don't mind to like staying on for like longer as well too, since like John Bruckman's free and be able to do that, and if everyone else wants to like I stay on for longer,
I can share the link with you. Where will you do that?
Okay. So basically, for anyone who's kind of curious, if they have to, so when you pull the cursor onto like the window of Zoom meeting, there will be like the green shield in the upper left-hand corner. You can click on that, and you get the copy. You can see a bunch of information about this meeting, including copy link for the invite link, and I'll send that over to you, Ozma, on Discord. Just in a moment. So yeah, you can just like you probably have like other topics that you want to like talk about. I gotta find you on my Discord.
Always happy to have somebody who has shit to say, because I, a white guy, everyone's already saying all my shit.
True.
I have a fun story to share.
I'll be
go
right
nuts.
back, but go ahead and share your story.
So we took a vacation to Niagara Falls over the weekend and a little extra
Oh,
time.
you visited your girlfriend.
Ha ha ha. Anyway, as part of this, we walked over the what they call the Rainbow Bridge because it's really
right
close
over the
to
falls,
where,
and you get the spray.
really close to where the falls perpetually create a rainbow, or not perpetually, but often. And
depending on the sun.
on the way back, after paying the dollar the dollar toll for heading back to the United States at the thing.
Oh,
Whatever.
nothing's more American than being asked to pay.
I know,
enter.
right? Right? It's like what? This bridge didn't have a traffic toll. Why does the walking part of the bridge have a toll? Anyway, not important.
Because people with cars have money. Wet bags.
So there was like this those one like rotating gates that you can't get through the other way.
Yeah, one-way gates, turnstiles.
Yeah. There was a family that was waiting to meet who had gotten visas in to go to the United States, and they were uh, a family member worked in Canada, and they were going to meet them at the border, and then they were going to spend some time in the United States. They just didn't, do the visa. They didn't get the process to visit Canada as well. And like as they were sitting near this exit / entrance to the border, their, I don't know, 4 or 5-year-old decided that, oh, that gate looks neat, and like
I cannot. I can
enough,
imagine so many scenarios.
walked far enough into it that they couldn't come back. So very technically, I can say I helped a little boy get back in the United States because
Illegally.
no, we didn't actually do it illegally. I brought him. I ushered him to the customs and border security person, explain the situation and why it was me and not his family who isn't allowed to cross this border that was doing it, and then they opened the door and let him back by his family.
White replacement.
Oh God.
Like it's really nothing that I like. It's just a fun story, but
Mm.
I came back to heard white replacement. What kind of Nazi shit are we talking about? Or anti-Nazi shit are we talking about?
Joe helped an
I
illegal
trafficked a
immigrant
small
cross the
boy.
border illegally to replace white people. It was a child, an anchor baby.
I technically trafficked a small foreign boy.
I'm all for white replacement. I shouldn't make that statement be known because we should cancel white people.
That's bad phrasing.
Yeah, but I don't know. Is there good phrasing? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. No, I am ready. Okay, so how much have you paid attention to Project 2025? I can't remember. I might have missed last week. We talked
Hey,
about
well, we all missed last
Hey.
week because
Yeah, last week was just a thing that was missed.
Okay.
There was no show last week at all.
I have been hearing about Project 2025 in my podcast. We have not talked about it on the show.
We kind of mentioned it a bit.
Yeah,
but
We might have mentioned
it's
it.
been only
It's-
spoken quickly in passing. It hasn't been.
We're aware that the Republicans have a plan for turning us into a fascist theocracy.
Yeah. Well, it's a plan. It's a website that can be gone to. They have a whole database on everything they're going to do. I believe it's in the playbook. Did they change the website? Because people were getting all the information.
Barely. Hello, Marty Afternoth. It's been a long time since when Biden wins. Have you heard of Project 2028? No, yeah. Honestly, they're just going to change the number.
I mean, they might call it 2029
Yeah, exactly.
because it starts the year that he's actual president, not after the election.
Yes, because because if somehow Biden doesn't win or whatever happens in general election,
Oh no,
Biden still.
never mind. It is on the website. Their 180-day playbook, which is it's a lot of horrible stuff. I may have done a newsletter recently about it, so I did end up reading some because there's the anti-LGBTQ stuff, there's the anti-immigration stuff, because they want to
They
track
want to
down the
unalive
border
everyone
more.
who doesn't look like me and act like my mom.
Yeah. Well, I'm safe so long as I mean I've come to have a sort of opinion about the reason for the prolonged model minority sort of status for being Jewish, and I think a lot of it is just Israel.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the model minority thing goes back to the 19th century.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but
Wait,
For
hold
Jewish
on.
people.
with regards to Judaism specifically.
No, I was
I'm
saying
sorry.
that Jews
Judaism
were
wasn't all-
technically white because they were well behaved and educated.
Oh, was that Was that
Going
the
back to
case
the
when they
19th century.
were preventing Jewish people from immigrating to America during World War II? Was that
No, I'm
was that
saying
when they were
in the
all
19th
minority?
century. They didn't start really objecting to Jewish people until like the World War One, when they started entering the upstate or the upscale universities because they could, and there were lots of them, and the universities were right there in the cities, and that's when they started doing quotas. So I mean,
I'm just
they've
saying,
always
like,
had an iffy status, Jewish people,
well, yeah,
Um,
no, I know, but like,
but they
I
were a
feel like
model
a lot
minority
of
for a long time.
yeah, but I feel like a lot of it has been due to Israel working with the white colonial status, because
Yeah.
the Jewish
Oh.
people who work for the white colonial status, you know, get plenty of privileges, and
Mhm.
they don't talk about Jewish people who don't work with any Jewish person of color, any Jewish person who's in the protests. Oh no, they're what? Jewish people
Oh, you
in
mean the
the
race traders?
pro-Palestinian press? Well, they don't even say that because like they just don't mention it. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
Jewish people are scared. What? The ones in the protests don't seem to be scared, so it seems to be a it seems to be a very specific
Obviously,
problem.
things have become more complicated since the settler colonial powers decided to create the Israeli state in order to
Well, yeah,
get rid
but
of the Jewish people.
yeah, but like the thing is, it's become more and more in your face now after
Mhm.
The October 7th event helped give Israel their last excuse, their most current
Their most recent
to
excuse, yeah.
genocide Palestinian people, on a much more hardcore status than what had been happening earlier.
An
'Cause I
active
know,
genocide rather than a passive genocide.
yeah, because like there was the stuff going on, and because I had been covering aspects of it, or I'd been paying attention to aspects of this off and on since like 2021 or 2021 or 2022. Whenever it was that the Israeli government was bombing um, news organizations or in Palestine,
Mhm.
which was like within the last 5 years, and when Sophia was alive, Sophia passed away like 2 years ago, I think.
I'm not familiar with
Sophia Christina both or whatnot. She was someone I worked with briefly because she was doing news stuff for a bit, and we were back and forth, and she had been born in South Africa, apartheid South Africa,
Mhm.
and there's a reason a lot of people from South Africa or have seen apartheid are like, yeah, no, this is apartheid. This is
Yeah.
very clearly apartheid.
I mean,
And
the
she was saying
wall
it.
that Israel has built is called the Israeli language equivalent of apartness, separation. It is literally
Yeah.
apartheid, which is
Yeah.
apartheid in English would be apartness, separation.
Yeah, and yeah, she's been saying that for like a while or whatnot, and it's been it's just people have become more vocal about it, and
Mhm.
a lot more people are realizing how fucked up the situation is. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I in general, I don't know. I just assume a lot of white nationalist stuff is just going to naturally drift towards Nazi shit. So like,
Well, white
I
nationalist stuff
mean,
is Nazi shit, I would say, but
well, yeah, but I just mean like,
overtly
the
Nazi
only
shit.
reason there isn't as much open anti-Semitism. I mean, there is open anti-Semitism, but there's not as much as there could be. The main reason for that is just because, in my mind, I just assume that's because of the Israeli government
Yeah.
and the
Because
fact that
they're a
they're
useful
able to
tool for
work.
destabilizing the
Yeah,
Middle East.
yeah,
And also, like the Balfour Declaration said, it's a good way to get the Jews out of our countries and somewhere else.
yeah, and I just I my general view at the moment is if Israel falls apart, things will move back in terms of attitudes towards Jewish people.
Oh yeah.
Within a certain period of time. Not the rich ones, not there's still always
good
going
ones.
to be like the ones who are able to or are motivated to work with the state, whether to various degrees. Not all of them most of them probably not going full capo like Ben Shapiro, but like I will 100% call that. Ben Shapiro's like the only person I'll call capo, honestly, just because I know. For reference, those are the people who work with Nazis in concentration camps.
Ah, I was gonna say I don't know that reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not it's a term Jewish people call certain other Jewish people in certain circumstances.
From
There
now
are
on,
some...
would you call them Shapiros instead? Or did it? Or Prakers? You can call them
the problem
Prakers.
is it just feels very... It just feels very specific because just Shapiro specifically in the amount of like direct Nazi shit he's willing to work with and just like hand wave away the fact that they're like he's willing to work with active literal Nazis or whatnot and not even like, and it's largely just for, I feel like it's largely just for himself. He's not even like I don't even call the Israeli government that way, even though they've worked with former Nazis. I'm pretty sure Netanyahu has specifically done that, maybe around the time he was promoting Hamas and getting rid of the PLO. But yeah, no, it's just, but like I just assume that a lot of the Israeli government just feels like, oh no, we can make our own safe place or whatnot while also committing genocidal stuff too. It's I don't know, there's just a lot of problematic stuff. But like, yeah, no, Project 2025 is awful, and they have a
They're
full
just so
PDF of
open
everything they're gonna do and everything they want to do.
They're so shameless.
Yeah, it's like even if you agree with them now, and I don't think anyone here does, but just looking at their plans,
if you do, please leave,
to make things less and less democratic, like small d democratic, where the people actually decide on things. The idea that they will continue to hurt just the people you want them to hurt is so ludicrous.
Yeah. Oh, well, but it's just like as you said, John Brock went several times. Is where it's just like the Alchemy party has been the white supremacist party since like 1968, and if you have voted for them, you voted for the white supremacist party since
you did a racism.
Hey, but like if you're but you're still voting for the Alchemy party since 2016, you're doing so knowingly.
Yep.
But also it's like like Richard Nixon did create the EPA that we still can have criticism of
Eco-fascism.
EPA. Right. Well, it's like, but like Richard Nixon happened to did like some good things. You call it that if you want to. Oh, but like he did that because he was trying. He still was the white supremacist party and white supremacist parents because he did so for white people. He did things that benefited white people. If they happen to benefit non-white people, that was just a byproduct. That was not his intent. Now the Republicans are like actively doing things to hurt non-white people and non-cis people.
Well, I mean that was honestly Nixon's project too. Yeah, sorry, Ely.
I would say I don't understand any person who's capable of birthing children would vote for Republicans because they're taking away the health care, and forcing people to give birth to children, and it's like not.
It's eugenics. Eugenics is all about
Yeah.
stopping brown people and disabled people from having children and forcing white people to have children. So that's why they're against abortion and they're in favor of sterilization. They haven't gone the sterilization route yet, but they will within a few years.
So
Yeah.
my mom personally is pro-life because she dealt with like that decision and personally chose to like to conceive the baby and go in the full term, and she will. So this was over a decade ago, so like back when I was in high school, so keep that in mind. So when I had this conversation and saying I was pro-choice, my mom said, "Okay, but if I decided to have an abortion, you wouldn't have your older brother or oldest brother. What do you feel about that?" Which is a weird argument. She made that argument from emotions as well too. And to be so that's why she has been like a pro-life. And I know that like basically like in 2004, she did not like John Kerry. She believe in the like Swiss votes veterans thing of like that John Kerry, yeah, he has 3 Purple Hearts, but he barely served in Vietnam. So, and my dad was like didn't like Bill Clinton because like Bill Clinton was going to raise the taxes. So that's how I know my mom's politics from decades ago. But I haven't to be fair, I don't talk with my mom about politics as well because I love my mom and I also know one thing for sure, she accept me for who I am, being non-binary. I even asked my mom of like, okay, I was born with a different set of genders. I was the first one planned. I have 2 older siblings. I was the first one actually planned. She wanted the girl. My mom definitely wanted the girl. Different set of genders. And so they tried again, and I got my younger brother instead. But I did ask her, if I was born with a different set of genders, what would you name me? She would probably name me Elizabeth. And I said, "Oh, how typical of you, Mom. A very common name like Elizabeth." But no, she would like call me Teresa or name me Teresa. It's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But so like I don't know my mom's politics now. I doubt she would vote for Trump. My dad didn't vote for Trump, but also my dad doesn't want us to talk politics either because like my older sibling does not talk to my dad, and it's a personal thing of like that my older siblings like a college degree and like college loans and stuff like that. But I think it is a political thing as well too, because like yeah, my dad's conservative and not a Trumper, but it's conservative. So I don't sure.
So he's a Joe Biden Democrat.
Yes, but I don't know who's going to vote for the president, and like I don't think it matters in Washington State, honestly. But like, I think he might vote for the Republicans for like the other political positions, just not vote for Trump. But again, I don't discuss politics with my parents because like I love my mom, and like my dad doesn't want to talk politics.
My mom blocked me on Facebook because of my political opinions.
Yeah, see, this is where I have privilege being raised by socialists. Unfortunately, they're very how should I put it? There's a lot of demotivation with regards to voting for anyone, and
Yeah.
I tend
Yeah.
to be more pragmatic in terms of like I care about what will get the effect, what will realistically get the effect got done or whatnot. And that's why like I'll still work with activist groups or whatnot to try to like push Democrats because Democrats can be pushed, Republicans can't.
Mhm.
I liked the way that Ole put it. What do you call it? The process when you have more radical politics, the process of electoral politics is to vote in the opponent you want to have.
Well, I'm just saying we need to do like
I
what
don't
we
agree with
also
that in this
need
case.
to do. Well,
wait, actually,
I think that we also need to do what happened with Project 504 and take over federal buildings and help get protection from like something like the Black Panther Party, but not the Black Panther Party because the current Black Panther Party I've heard is not good. Like the previous one when Fred Hampton had a lot more
Mhm. I mean, the previous Black Panther
residual
Party had its
influence.
issues with misogyny and homophobia
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff, but I mean, they were
Yeah.
good overall.
And
But,
realistically, they were probably not terrible for the time.
yeah, they were no
either.
worse than the general society.
Yeah.
But
But yeah,
Isaiah,
so
you have your. I just want to point out
sorry.
Isaiah has been very polite.
Isaiah has his hands up. Sorry.
No,
Go ahead, Isaiah.
I was gonna say about like family and politics. Well, my parents are dead, and
Okay,
adopt-
Batman. Sorry.
and my adopted family, I think at one point didn't like that I was an atheist and a socialist. But I don't know. I don't really have the problem with parental approval when it comes to politics. So that's good.
Well, in this case, by the time you get to be in your mid-40s, it's less about seeking parent approval and more about disapproving them.
Yeah.
And not having long arguments when you get together, because that could be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't honestly think that I've mentioned that, I have that, how far my views are to the left of mainstream to my family. I just, work on trying to make them more empathetic and progressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so like here's some stuff Project 25. I pulled up, we did a newsletter special with Never Again Action, which I work on that stuff and then immediately forget half of it. Anyways, I don't have time to read articles that I may have written one of that got heavily edited and changed drastically from the exact things I wrote, but yeah. So you have civil service, job protections, and expert qualifications being abolished for government officials. Jobs can be given to political loyalties.
To the victor go the spoil, literally Andrew Jackson bullshit, because that was Trump's favorite president.
Yeah. There's the plan to proposing replacing nonpartisan professionals at every level with loyalists in the departments that control state violence, including defense and homeland security. Restraints to use force against civilians would be loosened or removed.
Make the job fun again.
Reshaping or doing away with Department of Agriculture, Energy, Interior, and Education. EPA would bow to
Well, we
state
wouldn't have the problem
mandates.
with Betsy DeVos.
HHS, housing and home services or whatnot would focus on stable and flourishing marriages. That of course would not include same-sex marriages.
Oh, those aren't real marriages. Those are fiat marriages. They're not species
marriages.
I,
Jesus.
I don't get it. Aren't most farmers Republicans? Why would you get rid of the Department of Agriculture?
Because that would prevent agribusiness. They don't give a fuck about individual farmers. They care about big business.
Yeah, the thing is, they're the only ones who will pretend to give a shit about the farmers. Sorry.
They care about the image of farmers. It's a white guy with a
Very well put. Very well put.
They care about the image of a farmer. They care about the image of a worker. They don't care. They don't give three shits about a working person in the flesh. They care about the caricature of a working person.
They care about a white person on the land. The image of that. The image is that's important.
They don't give a It's like climate change. It's like if you're a farmer, you depend on the climate to make your business. But if you have Republicans that are like, oh, I don't believe in climate change, and you live in Florida, which gets most of its money from the fucking beach, well, then
what
it's
beach?
like, yeah, I know what beach they won't wouldn't put up a parking lot.
HUD would stop trying to create equitable housing. The Department of Interior would focus on promoting grazing, logging, mining, oil, and gas, because of course.
Oh, no more forests, no more state parks.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Project 2025 does not include ecofascism.
Yeah,
the branch of the Nazi Party that wanted to go on long walks in the woods and then kill Jews there.
Yeah, well, I mean, corporate individualism probably
Mhm.
factors in somewhat there. So, justice, labor, and transportation would have their regulatory role removed because corporations know how best to manage their pollution, their workers, and monitor their adherence to laws. I like the comment right afterwards because I am reading off of the Never Again Action thing, just like Boeing, right? Um,
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
My dad works for Boeing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't talk to my dad about work at Boeing
Hey,
or
but
how.
we got Starliner up, so that's
No,
good.
no, every time you visit home or go with your family to a restaurant or something, just offer to hold the
Happy
door.
Father's Day. I should talk to my dad about his work at Boeing.
Yeah,
on
just
Father's
just
Day.
offer to hold the door. Long stare.
So, obviously, the Commerce Department, Treasury, and other financial agencies would be downside, and consumer financial protections eliminated.
It's a Ronald Reagan's like a plan that you want to create some government so small.
It's
that you can go and tap
neoliberalism.
them.
It's just
Yeah.
we are going to
Crap
create
knowledge.
internal colonies. We are going to enslave everyone who isn't already wealthy.
Continue.
SEC and FCC are would no longer become independent. They're also become promoting a political agenda rather
course.
than regulating elections. Because yeah,
Reject
Um,
modernity, embrace feudalism.
Yes.
Just
and then because I work with Never Again Action, and they deal with immigration specifically, we had a section about immigration, specifically and how it affects that because venerates the deportation machine, advocates prioritizing detention and deportation, and emphasizes that the president and other leaders should thoroughly enforce immigration laws.
Impeach Joe Biden for not keeping up Mexicans.
I don't think you can do that because Biden is Biden's
But he's not
busy,
doing it hard enough. He's not whipping them. They took away the chainsaws in the river. How can we defend our border if we don't have chainsaws in the river?
Turn the border into the
I mean, we have enough barbed wire,
Yeah.
so
You were about
He's
to say
not
something,
concentration camping hard enough.
I was just about to ask how widespread is knowledge of this plan, because
It's
not
in the
widespread
news,
enough.
but people
Not
aren't really taking it
enough.
seriously. I don't think
Mhm.
I think people think that because it's so open and honest that it must be extreme and not mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would think that there are probably a lot of Republicans who would just think, oh, that's not great.
Mhm.
It's-
Well, I mean, it's like, look, it's like how Drake didn't learn from Pusha T's diss track and then started a fight with Kendrick Lamar. People are not learning the lesson of the abortion ban
Mhm.
in terms of like how far the Republican Party is willing to go.
Oh goodness.
So
It's just like 2016 when people didn't think Trump could win, even
Mhm.
though the Nazis were coming out in force.
yeah.
It's-
I mean, part of
Um,
that was that the pollsters fucked up because they were going by likely voters, and Trump appealed to unlikely voters.
True.
But
yeah,
the
and
fact
the
is that
pollsters
people.
are
Go ahead.
I was going to say the pollsters are potentially fucking up again because most people below a certain age don't answer phones from strangers, and they might be a bit behind.
Wait. Why would you answer the phone? Anybody who cares
Exactly.
knows to text.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, if I see an unrecognized phone number, most of the times, like the only people that call me is like the Peterson Blood Center because I used to donate blood to them regularly, and I have stopped doing that because I've been working 6 days a week, and like we'll do this show, so I don't have time to I didn't want to take away time from me working overtime at work in order to get blood or platelets like I used to do regularly. So that's why they always call me. because there's a need for blood and like platelets as well. But then also the other number is like is more a scam likely because it's unrecognized number. But I'm sure it's just someone from the DSA just like calling to see if like I'm really willing to do like action. Because I usually get texts as well afterwards too. So like yeah, any unrecognized number, I'm just going to like not answer, even though it might be actually my coworker or my supervisor.
I just want to point out that one of my favorite trolls is Eli Bosnick, of the Puzzle in a Thunderstorm crowd.
Yeah.
And he talked about how he loves when he gets phone calls from the people who ask him to donate blood. Because all he does is say, "I've had a man's penis inside me."
Now, fortunately, yeah.
And then they say, "Oh.
Yeah.
And then they have to hang up because the law is that male on male sex means you can't give blood for the rest of your fucking life. Or it used to be. I think it's down to like 5 years now.
There's been some changes to the policies at Peterson Blood Center. They finally made some changes as well too. I'm not sure the Red Cross.
We can detect AIDS now. That doesn't need to be a thing anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm
But
not surprised
still, if you've ever had a penis and touched another penis,
actually, you know what?
Or
Right.
because like depending on okay, wait, no, can I do a slight tangent relating to plasma centers because I donated
Go nuts.
plasma previously?
Yeah, go ahead. That was what I was about to bring up too.
So like,
go ahead.
so like the plasma center, because I've been asked both because for a bit whether or not I counted as male or female depended on the plasma center in terms of them trying to figure it out. Because like in Minnesota law, I was female according to Minnesota law, but I hadn't had bottom surgery at the time. So like they're just like, I have two conflicting information. Which one do I do? So like half of them was one, half than the other. So like if you're a woman, it's has your boyfriend ever fucked a dude is also
yes,
or had a penis inside of him. It is
the queerness is a contagion. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too.
Have you ever touched a man who's touched a penis, not his own? It spreads. It's like the zombies.
Yeah, it's extreme biphobia.
Yeah, I agree because like if and now my friend Liquid guest on the show has been before and like they still stream. They did like donate plasma regularly too and was able to do so. So it's just like maybe it's like depending on the center you go to or the place you go to donate blood or plasma, but like the plasma center also paid for like the plasma too, so that's why they were doing it because they get money. They can't do it now medically, and I don't know if like they even like look into it because since they moved to like their mother's like house in like Wisconsin. There's any like plasma centers in like Wisconsin, but it's probably even if there are, it's probably like in like Madison or something like that, and it'll be like a long hour drive or more to like go to those locations. So, and since like Lincoln and like their spouse and Echo doesn't have a car, have to rely on their Lincoln's mother, and then Lincoln's mother works most days of the week as well too. So it's only on Saturday, which is the only day that they do grocery shopping anyway. So when the first of the month, which is the only time that like Echo gets her SSI, is on a Monday. They can't do grocery shopping during the week, and so they have to raise money for food during the week for their grocery shopping on Saturday. That's what Lincoln is going to and Echo have to do all next week. And I already donated like $100 this week, which is part of the reason why I'm tapped out pretty much. But like now they need to like do 225 more or dollars for like next week as well too. I have way too many friends need money. I'll share like their links as well.
Almost as if the government should take care of people.
Yes, but
what
doesn't.
That's fucking commie talk.
Yeah, next you're
communist.
saying that it's weird that SSI only pays like $1,000 and they don't want you making more than $2,000 a week, otherwise you'll lose your SSI. That being said, I did.
You know who said you should take care of other people? Jesus, fucking pinko commie fag.
Oh,
oh yeah, no, I have willingly done some illegal stuff because you're not supposed to give food with that you bought with food stamp money. You're legally not supposed to give any of that to anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You're legally
You're not supposed
supposed
to
share.
use government shit to help people who need to be helped by the government.
Yeah.
Yep.
To the point where like I was told that like, yeah, not supposed to be doing this. Like I helped somebody like go to the grocery store and they're like, yeah, I have this for that, you know, and they're like, don't. Ugh.
Yeah, and but yeah, luckily there seems to be another program, at least in Minnesota, so that like if I qualify for SSI, I might be able to get away with a lot more while still maintaining help.
Mhm.
But I have to get the SSI first.
Yeah.
But
Is there a
yeah.
lot of rules and restrictions for what kind of food you can buy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, restrictions for what kind of food you can buy, restrictions on how much wealth you can have. Like if you have assets over a certain amount, I don't know what it is now.
2,000 for SSI.
It's like super low though. Like
Yeah.
essentially to the point where you can't even like have a car even if you could drive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think there's a separate benefit that I can effectively in the state I live in, where I can
Right.
effectively continue that while having more assets because it's a state. It might just be like one of those things where it's a state thing
It could be
and not a
state to state,
federal
I'm not
thing.
sure.
Yeah.
And so they can get away, or they can be nicer or whatnot. I'm still upset about them dropping. Like the pandemic was the nicest for Snap because I was getting like an extra $100 a month for Snap, and then when the pandemic was quote unquote over, then it was just like, oh no, sorry, you don't need the extra $100 for food anymore. We're just gonna drop that. I'm like, why? It was really nice.
Welcome to capitalism. You are gonna die.
No, I refuse. I refuse to die.
How dare you
Fuck
for
you.
refusing
Oh,
to
the way to
die?
be a Native American who also refused to die and just keep existing.
It took a moment and I was like, what do you mean?
I'm just
by
like
that?
I was like, no, I'm not doing look, I'm white, but I refuse to do cultural appropriation like that.
Yes.
So you
I
will
have-
accept the genocide. Okay, I get it. Brave.
I was born and raised Jewish. I'm not accepting a genocide.
When you're appropriating the Native American culture, they also refuse. That is their whole thing.
Look, I work
I'm
for
a
an
white guy.
organization called Never Again Action that started after AOC showed the places, and they were just like, yeah, no, that is concentration camp. There's like clear that it's like, oh yeah, no, those are concentration camps. Never again, please.
Yes.
Not
Never
a fan.
again action. If their mascot isn't a naga, a snake lady, then they're doing it wrong.
That I've heard
It is
about.
not. But
They don't know their
also,
D&D stuff.
like, we're not. Also, this is a protest movement. It's not a horny on Maine movement.
Why not
So-
both?
I was working out a way to say that. Can't get pride.
Oh yes, Clink belongs at Pride. Thank God I have not
Yes.
seen any of
No,
that discourse on like
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah, no, King has.
I'm
saw
being
the meme
facetious and
about. I saw
ridiculous,
one of
but-
several memes about that where it was just like, one of it's where it's like the bear is like kink, and it's just like they're always there, and the area around changes, and it's just like, what is this bear doing here? Type thing. It's like it's there the whole time.
Yep.
You.
Yeah, bears have been always been part of like the
Pride was a
community.
riot. Marsha B. Johnson.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And plus, like, I don't know.
No cops at Pride.
You shouldn't have, look, conventions shouldn't have more kink stuff than Pride. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it just feels weird to me. Like, because I've been to nerd conventions before
Mhm.
and seen people walked on a leash. Like, this is not
Honestly, I think nerds are kinkier than queer folk generally. It's just that queer people have been able
I
and
mean-
willing to express it more than nerds.
No, it depends on
Uh.
how many queer people are allowed in the particular nerd community.
Yeah, yeah,
There are
yeah.
there's a lot of overlap.
I was gonna
Yes.
say it's like, it's.
I think
it's
that
not
everyone has kink. It's just that once you're already an outcast for sexuality reasons, then you might as well go all in.
It's not that it's not what do you call it? Nerds are more kinky than the queer community. It's just that that Venn diagram is almost a circle.
It's not that theater kids are kinky. It's that they're really, really queer. Because again, they're already outcasts.
Well, yeah, and then there are plenty of situations where people are kinky and they just weren't aware of the kink. And as soon as they
Mhm.
become aware of it, they're like, oh no, I have feelings inside of me I don't
Oh.
know how to deal with.
Oh.
Watch an anime with like a monster woman, it's just like, oh no, this is wait
Am
a
I
minute.
into this now? I'm into this now.
They were never drawn like that before, but now they are. And we have so many.
Wait, what do you mean? What are you
So many
doing,
questions.
stepmom? Oh, that's what do you mean you're doing? Oh, stepmom. Oh. I learned something about
freaking,
myself. Hello, my name is Ted Cruz, and I support this porn.
Oh, what is? Why can't I think of his name right now? Shape of Water, Pan's Labyrinth.
Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, yeah.
He woke up a
the-
lot of kids. Yeah.
I was gonna say, watching a Del Toro movie. Just listen to this. Better not awaken anything in me.
Honestly, I don't think that any Del Toro stuff has ever with me. But then again, like,
How could
I've
it not?
been
He's worked with
somewhat
Tom
aware-
Hiddleston and a fish fuck.
but like but like I've been aware of a lot of kink stuff since I was like a teenager. And you know, the
Mhm.
internet or whatnot. And it's
But I mean,
just
Pan's
like,
Labyrinth. I mean, imagine getting a hand job with a guy whose eyes are on your junk.
ugh.
You can really see what he's doing.
Yeah, see, I don't want that. Like, this is the
I
thing where
want
it's just like,
that.
I think there's
Yeah.
just I think it's just different.
I mean-
I think it's just different kinks.
I mean, Del
As
Toro
well.
is the Cronenberg of our generation, so
Even though Cronenberg's still alive.
yeah, he's just not doing anything worthwhile.
Yeah, the last movie that I think he has done was like a history of violence, and I like that movie.
It was a very
it's-
good one.
It's
Was
like-
body horror done effectively, rather than just to
Yes.
say technology is bad.
Yeah. And it's like surprisingly has the least body horror in that movie, yet there's still that one dream sequence as it were. It's like, okay, yeah, this is for sure like a Cronenberg movie. Yeah, for sure. And
I mean,
that's-
he used his knowledge of human anatomy and how to make it grotesque in a very effective way
Mhm.
to show how
Yeah.
violence is bad, actually.
Yeah. A history of violence as it were too as well. And yet that's actually the only Cronenberg movie I've seen. I have not seen Videodrome or Brood as were.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it's
pretty
like-
sure that's
oh,
the only
Videodromes.
Cronenberg movie
Oh.
I've seen because I'm just not attracted to this.
Oh, The Fly. I
Yeah.
have not seen The Fly yet, or his The Fly.
wait, you have not seen The Fly?
No, I
That's
am
like
not.
that's the thing. I haven't watched most of the Cronenberg stuff, but I have seen The Fly.
Yeah.
I have 100%.
I mean, he's done
seen
a
The
lot
Fly.
of stuff that I have to acknowledge has been important and influential.
The Fly with Jeff Goldblum.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, That Fly.
Because a big part of his message, though, is technology is bad and dehumanizing. And I don't
True.
think it's technology, I think it's capitalism.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we talked this before, and Lincoln brought that up because like they are transhumanists as well too. It's just like no, technology and like automation is not terrible. It's not awful. They're great and wonderful under socialism and communism. They're right now terrible and awful under capitalism because of like how is like AI creating art right now. But I can see how some people can like use AI art as a tool to be able to
Create art.
create art, yeah, or steal someone's voice as well too. But I can definitely see like a AR be useful to like some people because I know some people who like my older sibling. He would rather just like use MS Paint and use this circle thing or this square thing or this thing and place things together to put together something that less you can consider art. While as my oldest brother, he would actually like draw, and many people would draw on a tablet as well too. There's some people who are like much prefer to like use the tools or tell a computer to create this thing as opposed to like draw it themselves.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, there's a difference between like basic tools that have been given to everyone
yes, agreed.
and someone making a program to just
Steal from the work
take
that
other
artists have done.
people's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
yeah,
I would be much more
but
okay with
it's-
AI if artists could work without fear of starving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
if
allowing
are-
people
yeah.
to create freely without having to put in the effort doesn't steal from people who have put in the effort if there's nothing to steal. If they can live freely. If we lived in fully automated luxury gay space communism and artists could just do art all day, then I would be perfectly okay with AI, I think.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I don't think people like the main need for AI is just people wanting to do people who either have way too much money and want to cut costs, or people who don't have a ton of money and just and need to cut costs or what.
I think I mean, of course, there's the corporate bullshit where they want to make stuff without having to pay artists. And fuck them.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can go jump in a lake. But I also think there's a lot of people who have creative impulses who don't have the free time.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
takes
that
a
too.
long time to develop artistic talent.
Whether you're talking about
does.
writing or drawing or CGI or animation or any of that shit, and AI can do that right away, and that is very tempting. And I really don't blame them.
Well, the thing is, and it can be used. Wow, it can be used well to take away some of the costs. Like if you're working on a project, like with animation project specifically, there is AI that can cut some of the workload or whatnot for that. Like there are good uses for AI. It's just the corporate dipshits kind of want to use it for corporate reasons or whatnot. They because they're like, oh, it'd be great if I could get all the work done with less employees and get all the money
and not
do
even
almost nothing.
necessarily with less employees. There are so many examples of inefficiencies in our system that are put there intentionally to reduce worker power.
Yeah.
That the separations of assemblers and moving parts to places that are built in lots of separate areas and then all assembled in a single area, that isn't more efficient. What it is less efficient in a way that keeps people from being able to effectively organize.
Yeah.
Or
Speaking of organizing, I'm gonna list off some more Project 2025 stuff. So
excellent.
take away immigration judge leeway, enforcement and prosecution discretion, dismantle the Dream Act, obviously, restrict DACA, and restrict temporary and I forgot the U visa. I think that's the one. Oh, I forgot what the U visa was, but like those are essentially restricting visas more.
Yeah.
Isn't the U visa the university one for going to school in America? I could be
Possibly,
wrong.
yeah.
Mhm.
And obviously, and obviously that includes people who have temporary visas for human trafficking and victims of crimes. Because they don't care about victims of crimes or people who have been human trafficked into the U.S. Expand ICE authority to surveil, incarcerate, and deport vulnerable people. ICE, I have for a while seen as far too close to how the SS was formed in Germany in the 30s, like because of how few restrictions they are, and they're like a special police force that can where you have to prove your innocence. That's why we have arrested US citizens and had them either risk deportation or be in a concentration camp for like months. Or I think one was like 3 years, I think. It is just awful how much power the ICE have. And yeah, it just like it's just a loophole that's easy to open up more to with regards to Homeland Security for them to have other special police forces. Basically when things get too close to Nazi Germany, you may have a problem. May have a major problem.
I would
Is
think
your
that like
democracy getting close to Nazi Germany? You may
Yeah.
have a problem. You should get this thing in and get it tuned up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
and yet so many people seem to not have the problem with that, or it seems
Well,
like
people
it.
haven't thought about the Homeland Security or and since 2005 or something.
Yeah, honestly.
2010 maybe.
Yeah.
Most people haven't thought about Homeland Security, and most people don't think much about the ICE or whatnot, except when
Yeah.
Biden brings it up, because states keep being like, no, this is sanctuary state. We're not going to allow ICE to. We're going to reject ICE.
We're not
authority
going to
in the state."
cooperate with these people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Biden's like, "Well, you're not cooperating with the ICE.
They're
You're
the
not
good guys.
cooperating
They're
with
cops.
this fascist police force." Fascist
Redundant.
government police force.
Doubly redundant. Fascist police? That's duh.
I mean, yeah, federal fascist police. Number
Double
2.
Mhm.
3? Fuck. There's too many of those too.
Yeah, there is.
Because there's still the FBI, which
Yeah.
yeah. That's got its own issues.
So basically,
Yeah.
screwed beyond like we're just screwed, right?
No, because like I don't think that's a helpful mentality. I think there are changes that can occur. It just takes work. It's just you're not going the changes themselves are not going to be through the system.
Yeah.
They're through forcing individuals in the system to actually make things better for people, because otherwise there'll be a bigger problem.
Mhm.
Essentially make it so there's a bigger problem if they don't do anything.
Mhm.
That's the only way to do that. Everything through the system is just, hey, we're going to delay some of the direct problems. Some of whatever is the worst problem, we're just going to delay things as much as possible, so there's time to implement more direct action, like protests, like getting the information out there, educating people, motivating people, so like propaganda, in the general term, obviously propaganda has the more negative connotation by some people. In the general term, propaganda to get people motivated to do action is an important part of things. And yeah, it's just things look bleak because things are complicated. Some things have just slowly gotten worse and worse and worse, especially with regards to economic stuff. But there's been a lot of a decent amount of social improvement, but at the same time, people aren't taught about these things on purpose. People aren't talked about the 504 protests where a bunch of disabled people took over a federal building. And along with protection and food and stuff from the Black Panther Party and some people from like a lesbian bar helping people take care of themselves a little bit.
You wouldn't build a lesbian bar without a fire exit, would you?
There's reasons that most people don't know that the first Pride was a riot. There's a reason why Labor Day is in September instead of on the 1st of May.
There's a reason our schools are literally rank and file Pledge of Allegiance every morning full of corporate propaganda lies.
Yeah.
It's all about indoctrination for a compliant populace.
Yes. And
so
getting rid of as
right
much
now.
and getting rid of as much education as possible, avoiding teaching critical thinking. Part of the Bush's no child left behind.
No child left behind. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Was trying to get people to memorize specific things, but not do critical thinking.
The lowest level of Bloom's taxonomy.
Yeah, because if you learn critical thinking, then
education kills the Republican
propaganda has a
Basically.
It also kills the Democratic Party. It kills the right. It kills capitalism.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that education liberates people.
Yes.
That's
actual education and not just propaganda.
There's a reason I'm no longer a teacher.
That's why
there's lots of reasons, but
that's why they're eager to break up those protests.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
well, they're also eager to kick the students out of the school. Yeah.
So last night, at last call, I was, getting that surge money, picking people up, dropping them off at home, and downtown was nuts. Like, there was a guy lying on the ground, skateboard next to him, a couple of cops dealing with him. I think he'd gotten hurt. And I was driving down the road, and people were just pulling out right in front, like aggressively, as I was not even like empty road, and I was driving forward at 35, but I was behind someone at inching forward, and somebody was just pulling out into my car. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I had just picked up a passenger, and I said, and I commented on how everyone was driving like aggressively insane. And he said, I don't know what's going on. And I was like, oh wait, what's the date? Last night was June 15th. Meaning that we're talking about the weekend before Juneteenth.
Yes.
You couple that with Pride, and we're getting 2 celebrations downtown happening at the same time. And of course, my passenger went on a racist rant.
Because you live in South Carolina.
I'm thinking that black people finally feel a day when they can cut loose and tell the cops to go fuck themselves.
Why?
And he's saying they're just being black.
Okay. I was going to ask, what was the racist rant about?
Oh, I believe in equality, but he wasn't going full Republican. He was going full Democrat.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I would have voted for Obama for a 3rd term if I was allowed to. Yeah. And funny enough, like, yes, this Wednesday I have the day off. It's a holiday, Juneteenth, and other people seem to be having like holidays or a day off on like Wednesday as well too. I'm just gonna plan to read about like the first ever like drag queen who happened to be an escaped slave.
Yeah, yeah, far too many. The amount of you know, white colonial power trying to separate people is nuts.
Yeah.
Trying to get rid of the fact that they're black queer people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something I always like bring up when like talking about like Pride too. Not only is like what's the first Pride a motherfucking riot, but also how it's like even though like the face of the queer liberation in the 70s, the people who were fronting that movement was like white cis gay men and like some white cis like gay women as well too.
I think it was
The
Matt
Pete
Baum.
the Pete Buttigieg at the time, or like
Mm.
Harvey Milk.
No, I don't think it was Matt Baum. It might have been Matt Baum. YouTuber. He's a gay white guy. Talks about TV stuff. He talked. Somebody I watched recently talked about the early queer movement and how they were protesting TV, which is why I think it was Matt Baum because he mostly talks about television.
Right.
And gay men protested bad queer representation. Well, bad gay representation, let's be honest, on TV.
Yeah.
And so they did a zap, which was their word for a flash mob sort of thing. They stormed a TV studio and made demands. And it turned out that they didn't have a leader. They didn't have concrete demands, sort of like the early BLM movement.
Yeah.
And so they accomplished nothing. And then, like 6 months or a year later, a group of lesbians staged a much more carefully planned protest during a very popular like late night TV show, not Daily Carson, Johnny Carson, but something similar. And they knew that he was going to have a guest on, and they had a protest planned. They had the speech written. They had specific demands. Showing that first, the movement can learn from their past mistakes, but also white men are useless.
There's that. But also that also is like it was trans women of color that were like the people that like started the pride because they were the patrons at the Stonewall Inn, like Marsha P. Johnson. I think Marsha P. Johnson was there at like Stonewall Inn on the night of Pride. I thought Sylvia Rivera was, but it turned out she wasn't. But she was active like after a bit after the fact, and like in the 70s as well too. And like so it's always that economy. It's like there's always the simulators, much like Pete Buttigieg. That's the best example. And like or like Professor Charles Xavier from the X-Men, and then they're the liberators, and that's like Marsha P. Johnson, like Silver Rivera, who's like, no, fuck your cis hetero patriarchy, except who we are, we're not going to change who we are, and that's Magneto. And like
this is why a lot of LGBTQ people have the Magneto was right type t-shirt.
It helps that Magneto was gay.
Man,
canonically he and Charles fucked.
It's one of those things where I really like they didn't think about it at the time, I'm sure, but it would have been so much better if Magneto was more like if like Beast or Nightcrawler where his mutation was not hideable.
Yeah. Where they're visibly mutant.
Well, I mean, two factors. One, that probably wouldn't have
Well, I mean, it wasn't hideable because he was a Jew.
Good thing because original the original X-Men run in like the 60s, Magneto was like a bad person, like an unforgivable
he
bad
got more
person.
nuanced over time. That's
I mean, we realized how fucked
idea
we had been treating the Jews over time. Was he originally Jewish? I wonder.
I don't think that was even a factor with like at the start. I think that was. I get the impression that a lot of that stuff was like the
added later.
the second X-Men run.
The run that went through to the 90s, crap, which adjective was that?
Uncanny.
Uncanny. Yeah, the uncanny run.
Yeah, whatever. Whenever they rebooted it in like the 70s or something.
Actually, it was like in that kind of run in the 90s was where the 90s X-Men show kind of took inspiration
Used a lot of the big stories from, yes.
That's how Sinister got in that show.
Yeah, because when Magneto started, he was just like, "I'm doing evil stuff because
Yeah.
I'm an evil person."
Yeah, I just had to
I'm
Google
going
it.
to- I'm going to brainwash someone with the power of my magnetic personality.
The
Yeah, it turns out he had
Brainwash
18
Toad
years.
that way.
Yeah, he had 18
The
years as a
brainwash
mustache
Toad
twirling.
because of his magnetic personality. That was their hand wavy way to do
the
it.
fact that the organization that he ran was originally called the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, as opposed to the Brotherhood of Mutants.
Yeah, so 20 years he was just a villain who had a tragic backstory with a dead wife and kid, and then they made him Jewish. I think that was a good turn for them, but
well, yeah, I think they want to do like more complicated stuff, and
Yeah.
like generally a lot of comics creators had like a clear position on stuff, like Captain America punching
not
Hitler.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, to be
before-
honest, let's be honest, that was
before
propaganda.
the war started.
Yeah, that was propaganda.
But it became a stance that they embraced, I think.
Yeah.
In a
I would
liberal
argue-
way.
Well, they got a lot of hate for it.
They did. I mentioned so.
Oh, because America is Nazi.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, well, they got a lot of hate for it, and also we weren't officially at war yet
Mhm.
when the comic came out. So
Yeah, so
Far-
it was like
Far too many people were big fans of that Hitler at that point in the
Yeah.
United States.
There
yeah.
was a Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden that was well attended.
Mhm.
And got disrupted by the Jewish Defense League.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's yeah, there's been, well, I mean, I was gonna say there's been a lot of Nazi influence. There's still a lot of Nazi influence.
Yep.
There's a lot of Nazi influence with the ICE. There's a lot of Nazi influence with police.
Yeah.
Like there's been in that there are Nazis who are police. There are KKK
Oh, yeah.
who are police.
Yeah.
There's
Cops and clans go hand in hand.
yeah, there's Nazis who are ICE.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think
people
all
in the
cops are
ICE.
Nazis.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well,
active
they-
Nazis
yeah, but I mean, like-
or accepting.
Like officially calling themselves Nazis. Nazis.
I think there
like,
are a few good apples who go along with the rest.
Well, no, there are, and they quit their job usually after.
Yeah, or die.
Or ask to be fired. Or like
Or
leave
are
the force.
or asked to leave the force because they don't stand up for the bad ones, or or
You're
are,
not matching company policy. You don't. You're not towing the thin blue line.
They
or are
like
bullied out of their job, or
the blue
are
wall signs.
Or they are left in dangerous situations over and over and over again until they
Yes,
quit
yes,
because they
yes.
know they're going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's just
made to go in first on domestics with
Mhm.
white people, which is the most common way.
Or they make them go into a school.
Oof.
Uvalde, the most dangerous
Yeah.
thing ever.
Yes.
Ugh.
Hate cops.
yeah, well, I mean that's why yeah, that's why you have you know, you have a lot of Minneapolis police
Mhm.
you know, who are from this place very close to Minneapolis. It's Edina. It's a rich white suburb off in the
I'm sorry, it sounded
Northeast?
like you said a diner.
no, it's Edina. But but
So it's like there's just cops pouring out of an IHOP.
Oh my gosh. I saw an interview with, or I listened to an interview with a former police officer, and they're like just talking about the stuff in police training, like just things like you wouldn't even think about, like when they were talking to them in like orientation and afterward, like suggesting that it's like, yeah, you're gonna wanna, if you're gonna look for a house, you're gonna want to look to be at least a half an hour's drive away because it might not be safe for your family to live around a place where you police. It's like, that's awful.
Mhm.
yeah, that's not what the thing is. Well, this
Oh.
is why I want like the people who are actually going to protect people. Something like a new Black Panther type anarchistic police force, effectively, who are watching the police.
Yeah.
In the
And-
90s, they
and
called
who
it
are
Cop Watch.
protecting people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that was one of the reasons Fred Thompson was assassinated by the U.S. government.
Hampton.
Hampton. I can never
Yeah.
get his name right. It's either Fred Hampton, Fred Thompson, Chris Hampton.
Well, I remember. To be fair, it does help to listen to some at least. Oh, fuck, I forgot which song. There's a Rage Against the Machine song where Fred Hampton
Fuck the Police.
referenced.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, part of the
Yeah.
problem is that it's just a very, very normal name for a very extraordinary man.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, who didn't live super
He was
long,
21 when
but
he was
did a lot.
assassinated.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
21. He
that's
was a child.
nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But fortunately, his work is carried on very ably, so I'm given to understand, by Fred Hampton Jr. His wife and his son survived his assassination.
Yeah.
I just want to point that out because fuck our goddamn government. Every which way
Yeah.
with a rusty goddamn
Yeah.
butter knife.
Yeah, it's
Well, I mean, if we got rid of most of the FBI, if not all of the FBI, got rid of
It's
the IC and the Homeland Security,
the only
that would
FBI agents.
that would do a decent amount.
So the only good FBI are Dana Scully and Fox Mulder. That's all.
No, they
Fictional
were written by
FBI.
Chris Carter, and he was an incompetent white guy. He failed upward.
No,
Honestly,
there's a
we would
lot of
have-
good fictional FBI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every good cop is a fiction.
Oh.
Okay, that was
Oh, yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm actually kind of proud. I'm very proud of that one. I'm going to say that one was unironic.
Mhm.
But, I mean, the FBI was started as an internal surveillance force in order to prevent Americans from expressing political opinions unpopular with the oligarchy. Anyone to the left
Yeah.
of Jimmy Carter was cracked down. It's like the Black Panthers, they said, we're at war with our own government because their government was at war with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we would have to eliminate most. There's a reason libertarians stole that word from the left.
Mhm.
We would have to eliminate most of the government in order to create a just, fair, free, and fun society.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, this is why I feel like I feel like I almost, because the thing about libertarians is a lot of them, not the people in power, but not the
Yeah.
libertarians in power.
The oi
They're
polloi.
basically Republicans.
Yeah.
But like libertarian people are often idealists, and I feel like I feel like it'd be easier to get some radical policy agreement to radical policy from libertarians that would be from Democrats or Republicans.
Yeah.
Some
I
of the
think
time.
that the libertarians on the ground recognize the problems but misidentify the cause.
Yes.
Mhm.
Libertarians with
yeah.
power are just Republicans who are using useful idiots.
Yes.
Yeah, it's I feel the same way about libertarians that I do about Democrats. The the small L libertarian, the person that believes in that sort of thing isn't necessarily dangerous and bad. Same with, people who vote for and people who believe in the democratic process. That's a good
yeah, but
thing. That's a good way to be, but the party leaders of the Democratic Party are not great.
yeah, but like Democrats
Mm.
piss me off more because they're more likely to
well,
be
they have
like,
power.
well,
And they
this
don't
is a
use it.
bad thing, but like it's justified for eventually doing a greater good
Mhm.
Yeah.
or whatnot. So you're a useful sacrifice for the greater good.
Yeah.
Your
And
existence, your
Democrats
livelihood,
believe in
your
the
life.
system. Democrats believe in the
Yes.
system. And the system isn't working, and they continue to. That's why I continue to insist the Democrats are the conservatives. They want to maintain the status quo. They haven't done anything useful
Yeah,
since
the
1964.
Republicans are reactionary and the Democrats are conservative. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Which is that's how we
There is a difference, but the difference isn't that the Democrats aren't conservative.
For
the
the
difference
most
is
part.
the Republicans are reactionary.
There's a
there
small
is a difference.
subsection of Democrats that are more
Progressive.
center and possibly even center left. Well,
AOC,
center left
Bernie
is more likely-
Sanders, and I can't
center
think
left
of
is
anyone
more
else.
likely to happen is more likely to happen in local government. Like,
Like,
there's
the
a reason that the Minnesota governor got like all those laws that are like far left of anything the DFL will do. Or not DFL, sorry. DFL's my party, because it's Democratic Farmer and Labor. It's not just the Democratic Party when I vote in Minnesota, because the Democratic Party here locally merged with the Farmer and Labor Party. But yeah, the Democratic establishment, DNC, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, well, that's why there's a lot of policies that were left of the DNC that got put into place as soon as like enough Democrats that were center left.
We were a fan of Jesse Ventura, Ozma.
Jesse Ventura is complicated because he did some genuine good stuff, and he has some bad policies. Jesse Ventura is the reason why we have a train system or like a light rail in Minnesota. Like, he fought for that hard. And it's also like very accessible. Like there are things he does that are good. There are things he does that are bad. It's complicated.
Well, you use the present tense. Is he still a presence?
Oh yeah, no, sorry. The light rail. Sorry, I was using the present tense originally because I was focusing more on the light rail because the light rail still exists. But yeah, Jesse Ventura hasn't been in office in like a long time. But like he
that's what I thought.
He believed what he was doing, even if his beliefs were wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's true of most people, I think. Okay, no. He believed what he said.
Yeah,
and that's not true of
accurate.
Republicans.
That's not true of a lot of politicians.
Yeah.
Because when Biden was going against Trump, he said a lot of stuff that was left of any position he ever took with regards to immigration. So like,
Well, I kind of wonder with mainstream liberals, including the politicians, how much of that is hypocrisy and how much of that is them being stupid and ignorant.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, you're dealing with someone like Joe Biden, a dipshit who will tell a weird, rambling story about taking a chain to Corn Pop. I don't expect progressive racial politics from him.
No, yeah, I won't.
But, I mean, you get AOC and Bernie Sanders, who also support the same policies, or at least vote for them. I don't know. How much of it is a disconnect between our vocabulary and theirs? How much of it is pragmatic politics? How much of it is hypocrisy?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. This is why I tend to put them as center. Like AOC, Bernie Sanders, I tend to see as like center, and then sometimes local politicians. There's like center left local
Yeah.
politicians out there who are Democrats. And oftentimes they also potentially have to fight against the people from the Democratic Party, the local politicians from the Democratic Party who have been there longer. So like
yeah.
them not like Democrats, there's like a couple Democrats not running again, which was also part of the reason why Minnesota was we were able to pass all those laws recently in Minnesota, because like the majority of the Democratic Party
suddenly flipped communist.
Not even that, although it is funny every time I hear them, like people say communist Minnesota. I'm just like, I wish.
Yeah.
Hyping it up like that.
Communist is when they want to help people.
Communism is just anything to the left of like not hurting homeless people for sport.
I thought for a second when you were saying it, I filled in that anyone left of Hitler, but like, sure.
That too.
Honestly, I would say in the U.S., left means anyone to the left of Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Including Bill Clinton. Which means that he'll sexually harass a woman, but not rape her.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
That we know of.
He won't get caught for raping her.
Unlike one of our Supreme Court justices, Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that was attempted rape, not rape. That he's been accused of.
Yeah, incredibly.
Clarence Thomas was also accused of like
no, he is for sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment. That's what I thought. Yeah.
He is definitely an Uncle Tom.
Yeah. Like Clarence Thomas has not accused himself in any cases as it deals with like January 6th or that sort of thing too. Anthony Scalia has like had like different like flags associated with January 6th. That like one at his Virginia home and then one that's his summer home. And they're different flags, they're different organizations. One the upside down American flag and another one a Christian nationalist flag. That's our Supreme Court. And those two were not selected by the Donald Trump either. Those were already on the court before.
Scalia. Go ahead.
Learning about that story actually, like I didn't know. Like I knew that. What do you call it? Flying the flag upside down is like a sign of distress in like flag language. But I thought that was just like. I've never heard of that as a symbol that anyone on the right used. I thought that was just a left-wing thing.
No, it shows up in fiction. Like Patrick O'Brien mentioned it from time to time. He was he wrote about naval stuff during the Napoleonic Wars, wooden ships and iron men. And you get it in the movie The Castle in the early 2000s, when they planned to show that they had taken over the prison by flying the American flag upside down.
Oh no! I knew about that. I never heard of right-wing people using an upside flag as protest. I've only heard of that as a left-wing thing.
Okay, all right. That makes sense, except it kind of doesn't, because left-wing is anti-nationalist.
Yeah,
but I can see them using it as a protest
why
thing.
It's flown.
Yeah,
the country is in distress because the system is bad.
Yeah,
like what do you call it? The record label that ran System of a Down is called American, and their logo is an upside down American flag.
Okay. Oh, that sounds like recuperation. But yeah, no, I mean, it does make sense that would be a left-wing thing, and it also makes sense that it would become a right-wing thing, because the Jews are using the blacks as labor to destroy the white man. Sorry, Ozma.
God damn it.
Darn it, John.
Oh, I remember being so confused the first time I watched American History X and Edward Norton said that. I was like, what the fuck?
No, when I saw that movie, I
Like,
thought
that's a thing people believe, because that's
They
ridiculous.
believed that for more than a century at this point.
Yeah.
Like, black men came home from World War One talking communist shit, and everyone said, black people can't read, that must be the Jews. But-
Isaiah.
no, I
Yeah,
was
you have your
saying-
hand up?
I was saying because like when I saw that movie for the first time, that movie actually like made me think that goth people were like these super racist people because that one character in that movie.
Okay, just because it's all black and white doesn't mean they're goth.
Oh my goodness.
I know,
Sorry, keep going, Izzy. Keep going.
no, because like it's the girl from The Craft.
Oh, yeah. Fire is a bulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, the vampire movie. What were they? No, they
No,
weren't.
they were witches. They were witches.
They're witches.
They were witches. Yeah, yeah. I like.
But back when she was getting fucked by Colin Firth in Bonfire of the Vanities, that was vampires.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I've seen that.
I just
And it
thought,
wasn't vampires. I'm just totally fucking.
No, I thought goth. I thought like people who were like who were goth or something were like these like super Nazi kind of people. So,
Oh my god, they're so the opposite. Nazis don't feel emotions. Goth people feel all the emotions all the time. Oh shit. Yeah,
Yes.
Reagan would totally genocide the Goths.
Unfortunately,
I mean, yeah, but they wouldn't be like the first people he would go for.
yeah, I
Um,
agree. If we were like
the first people he went for were the blacks and the Mexicans and the college students, and then the queer folks when AIDS showed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We should
the-
all be
the
glad
Goth-
he's dead.
The Goths have been against the fascists since ancient Rome.
God damn
I
it.
was trying to find a way to work that in.
the Visigoths coming over.
Ah,
God damn it.
You know what, people? I think I have to drop out because
yeah,
fair.
Yeah, I got.
It was good hanging with you, Ely.
yeah, it's been 3 hours too.
So we're about as long as a general leftist video essay. So,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
But this time it's just a chat rather than,
This is like
I mean,
Jesse.
on the other hand, this is the equivalent of a leftist meme. Just a wall of text with some random pictures.
Yes. No. I tell people, listen. When I communicate oftentimes in mini essay forms. I say things. I say in 25 words what I could say in 5 words because I can't say it in just 5 words. I have to say it in 50 words.
Okay, to understand what I'm about to say, you're going to have to understand the context of the Civil War.
I'm gonna leave before you say it.
Bye, Ely. No, I wasn't actually going to say anything.
That
but
was
bye,
a joke.
Ely. It was great hanging out with you.
I gotta run
Yeah.
too. 'Cause I gotta finish watching this Titanic show and get some ice cream.
Because you're high.
Yes.
Oh, actually, I'm not. At least not anymore.
Bye, Izzy.
Like,
So yeah, so our friend Ely just like left a call about like he has like a blue sky of like I think Gregan and like and
It's his last name
Instagram.
backward.
Yes. And also Instagram as well too of cat pictures as well too. Isaiah Taylor has like 2 YouTube channels, Autistic Monitoring Society and Sensor Intelligence, as well as like his like Instagram of like Galactic Cosplay Crafts. And like Osmo Dark, do you have anything to promote right now that you want to promote?
The main thing is at the moment, because until I get housing dealt with, I'm probably
Yeah.
not going to be able to put video stuff up. So I'm just gonna promote Never Again Action if you care about
Mhm.
immigration rights. I know we're doing a drive soon, and I'll probably be helping out with regards to video editing with regards to that.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I've been working with them while I sort out medication. Oh, also in Project 2025 also mentions how they're going to get rid of like crack down even harder on reproductive rights, because of course.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Because they are
that's
terrible people,
okay.
and they all deserve to extra. Yep. Yeah, I
do
didn't
not
say
do
that.
do not do successive terrorism. Try your best to do only successive terrorism, as you say, whatever the hell that means.
It means you encourage people to do stochastic terrorism against Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
Well,
They deserve to be treated exactly as well as they think dangerous minorities should be treated.
look,
We need to stop. I need to stop this.
yeah, you need to stop. Your
And Joe, you need to stop it
attacks
too.
against Benny Chaperone, the capital BS is not.
So, Dribble Corey, anything you want to promote? Have you got anything to promote?
No, nothing really. No.
Okay. I am Summer and a Geek. Summer and a Geek who tries his best not to do successive terrorism, something that my job program has difficulty doing. Stop
I
thinking
want
of that!
to do stochastic terrorism, but I have moral compunctions, unlike Ben Shapiro.
So anyway, I am Summer and a Geek on most of the social medias, at least like on Threads, even Instagram, Blue Sky, Tumblr, Twitter. Yes, I'm still on Twitter. Co-host, and on YouTube and Twitch. And yes, I will get off the call and start up my stream on like Twitch and YouTube. Maybe quickly get something there's words. I don't know, or snack on something. And the other thing I want to play, something queer related and for like Pride is where too.
Stardew
And,
Valley.
I already did that last week though.
Queer.
I already did it. And I
Bayonetta.
already did,
No, that's masculine.
well, maybe.
Final Fantasy VII. That game is gay as hell.
Could be. Actually, yeah, you could date Barrett, honestly, in that game, but you had to do really poorly.
And Cloud
in that-
cross dresses before
Well-
threatening to cut off a guy's cock and balls.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
But also I can't remember if you can do that in the computer version. I can't remember if they edited that out.
The
in
old computer version you could. I don't know about the new one.
Okay, I can't. I could swear they edited that out somewhere, or that option out somewhere.
When China
But
opened
it
up.
definitely was an option.
Mhm.
And-
I didn't know that. That's very fun.
Yeah. Basically,
Oh,
you
yeah,
have to
yeah,
be
yeah.
a complete asshole to both Tifa and Aerith the entire
Yes,
time,
yeah.
and then you get to go on a
Yes.
date with Barrett.
if you have not recruited Yiffy, because remember,
Yeah,
Yuffie. Yiffy is for furries.
Yeah, Yiffy's a different thing.
Yiffing
I mean,
is when a
Yiffy's-
wolf boy fucks you up the butt.
I don't think that's exactly
It doesn't
it.
have to be a wolf
Um,
boy.
Yes.
I could yiff you, Barrett could not.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I am so again. I'm going to be streaming when I get off this call. I'm going to definitely stream something queer related. I already did Inkfell and stuff. And like John Brockman, are you part of another podcast?
Possibly. We haven't posted anything in a very long time, but we do still record our games. Dungeons and Debacles. It's a
Yes.
D&D game. It's like this, only I pretend to be a racist British dragonborn cop.
That's not too hard for you. You just have to pretend to be British.
I'm not a cop.
Okay, yeah.
Or
That's a stretch for you to like. That's a stretch for you to like have to pretend. To be
I
a cop. That's
will.
kinda like-
I'll go with the racist thing because I'm a white guy from America. I
You're a
tried,
white guy from
but
South Carolina too.
yep, for half my life now. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, and with that, we will go ahead and call it a day and bid you adieu.
Yes.
Yeah.
Practice it. Don't forget to practice self-care. Take care of yourselves,
Adieu.
everyone.
Get enough
Bye-bye.
sleep. Kill the oligarchs. Eat the oligarchs. No
No.
stochastic. No stochastic. God damn it.
Oh, I'm having so much fun
No,
at building.
no,
I'm
see,
gonna be
like,
starting up a new
You're
campaign.
making it hard for me not to continue on, John Brockman. I keep wanting to double down on the stochastic stuff. It's
I'm
not
starting
good. You're not good. Well,
I'm the
can't
sort
say
of
you're
guy
bad
who's so
influence.
intense he gets a rug burn from his rearview mirror while cleaning his dashboard. I have a sore spot on my forehead. All right. Bye, everybody. I bumped my
yeah.
rearview mirror really